Welcome to the kNights podcast. I'm your host, Keikoa, and with me tonight is Ben.
Hey.
And it's just the two of us tonight. It's the Keikoa and Ben Power Hour. Or maybe more than an hour. Probably more than an hour.
Definitely power.
Much power, possibly more than an hour.
Too much power.
Too much power. Nintendo power. Wait, no. In the magazine?
They don't make that anymore.
Huh?
They don't make that anymore. I tried to get the last issue that I couldn't get it.
Wait, were you trying to get it like recently or?
No, like when they had it out. Like I guess everyone was trying to collect it. I'm like, what the hell?
I think I got it, but I just happened to be at a Target wandering down the aisle, and I remember someone had said, it's the last issue. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I bought it, but I don't have any other Nintendo powers except that last issue, which is still mint in wrapper. In plastic wrapping, whatever thing. Never really took it out. I guess.
I have the other ones that I've been collecting for the 3 years I had the subscription, I think.
Like from the
So I guess
original?
one cover is like Donkey Kong. You remember how they did the characters on the pictures on the spine of the issues?
Oh,
so once you collect all 12 issues, you get some character or some picture.
Right.
So one is Donkey Kong, another one's Zelda. I forgot what the other one was. Kirby or something. I don't know.
But you didn't have it from the beginning.
No. I wanted it, but I came from a poor family.
I never had... Well, so you had a subscription then to Nintendo Power, or did you just buy them?
No, I had a subscription once I had money of my own.
Oh, right.
But that was when I was in high school.
Right. Yeah. Because I never had any of those magazines, but I think... For a while, I think I got the EGM, the Electronic Gaming Monthlies, but I never got
That's gone too.
That's gone too, actually.
They're all gone.
And Game Pro, and yeah, those are actually. I still had a few of them. It was interesting to just look at the ads they had for stuff, and or the ones they were promoting, which were the newest and the best. Of course, now I'm looking backwards in time, going, man, we really were excited about that stuff. That's not that. Now you'd be like that's novel kind of thing. But when I remember looking through the magazines, like, oh, look at all these cool things coming out, these cool games.
And then now it's like, oh, saw it on the internet. Someone leaked it. Heard about it 5 minutes right after.
Yeah, basically, you lose that now. And I guess, do they even have online? Well, I guess that is just basically what IGN is now. Is basically a magazine.
Is GameSpot still around?
I don't know if they still have gaming. No, I think they do still sell gaming magazines.
PC Gamer?
Yeah, PC Gamer. But they do still sell them because I remember when I went to E3, like every E3 there at the front, they always have this big kind of cubby hole thing, which is every gaming magazine, I guess, that wanted to put their magazines there.
And Red Bull.
No, they had...
Monster.
Yes, Monster. I don't think this year, like maybe 2 years ago and years before that, they'd always have somebody throwing out Rockstar. No, it was Rockstar. You're right. It wasn't Monster. I think it was either Rockstar or Monster, but I'm pretty sure it was Rockstar. And
balls.
That's how you could go out there and get something to drink. It's like, oh, I'm thirsty, but I don't want to pay any money at the convention center. I'll just go out there. They're giving out, which is probably not good to quench your thirst on a Rockstar.
Steven Seagal energy drink.
I drink it. But it probably hurt me on the inside. But yeah, they'd give away free. But
a can of regret.
Yes. But it used to be the trick. You just like, well, I could get free drinks, terrible free drinks, but it's
to
free.
Quench your thirst.
Yeah, because I guess so.
If anything, it dehydrates you. It turns your pee like super highlighter yellow.
Yeah. But I didn't care. It was free.
Or amber color.
And it was hot inside those halls because it's just people next to people.
Who didn't shower for the past however many... Oh, wait, no, that's Comic-Con.
Yeah, well, there are
this
times.
Is a bit more businessy usually.
Before it
PAX,
was kind of...
Yeah.
It was like... For like 1 or 2 years, they actually made it businessy, really. Like, where it was just almost meetings, and I think they had it in Santa Monica, E3 anyway, and it kind of, I guess it worked, but it just didn't have the hype anymore. It wasn't this sexy event where, like, you wanted to go because it was awesome.
That's where Penny Arcade Expo came in.
I think that whole idea, yeah, Penny Arcade Expo.
They're like, we'll do it right. And then they became bigger than E3, and E3's like, oh, crap, you got to go back to what we were doing.
Well,
All
in
the money
theory,
we're losing out on.
yeah, the E3 was, it's supposed to be a trade event and not a spectacle, which is what everyone thinks it should be and assumes it should be, because that's where you want to go to E3 because it is what it is, like this big gaming kind
Just
of thing.
like Comic-Con.
Yeah, except it's not.
Spectacle.
Yeah, except Comic-Con's made to be a spectacle. E3's kind of masquerading maybe as a trade show event. Like it is still like they do take meetings with different important people, but then you have this giant screen showing their games off in these giant booths. So it's still a spectacle, yet behind the scenes important meetings are taking place. But I mean,
but who cares about that anyway? Because that all comes out on the internet. They're like, oh, they announced this, and they announced this, and they announced that.
that's what I always, at this point, people who, if you just watch it and you, on all the videos they released during that week anyway, you're like, I can do this from my house. I don't have to walk around.
I just want to go for the spectacle and the swag.
And the swag is
Swag, yo.
not as good as it used to be, actually.
Yeah, I remember when I did go that one year, I had my way in. My roommate in college, he got me in. I came out with like a big ass bag of just stuff.
Yeah.
Like so much stuff. I didn't have to pay for it. It's just all free. It's like, what am I going to do with this? All these magazines, toys, action figures, pens, magnets, pins, buttons, just everything.
It's definitely gotten a lot slimmer. Maybe it's the economy. I don't know, but I don't think I'll get to go next year unless we start doing a gaming section or something.
Well, it seems like it's not that big anymore just because there's not really that many players in the industry.
Yeah.
Like EA's like top dog right now.
Well, they still always have like their the main booths that just take up the most space, like your EA. It's like right in the front, takes up a ton of space. And then you have the other hall that has the main, like your Nintendo, your Microsoft, your Sony, and some other developers. But yeah, it's a lot of the big ones, and then in the shadow of the big booths are smaller booths like Natsume, and even Konami actually is kind of smaller. Capcom.
They used to be big.
Yeah, they definitely are in the shadow. EA is still monolith, it looks like.
Well, they keep buying everyone out, and then...
Yeah, that'll work. That'll do. But then you get to play new games like
Smash Brothers.
Like Smash Brothers. I did get to play that there,
and you have it now.
And I have it now. It seems like no one else I know has it though, which is
I'm sorry.
Weird. Yes, thank you. Yeah,
I know.
Corey doesn't.
The
have
last
it. You don't have
podcast that
it.
well, not the last one, but the prior ones that we did, I said I would pre-order it, but then I was holding out for Target because they might have offered some deal. And if they didn't offer a deal, then at least you could use my red card and get 5% off of that.
And then you just never went and got it.
I actually did go.
Oh, right, you went.
They had it. I went the day of when they released it. They had it in stock, but they were not selling any unless you pre-ordered it. And that was more because... Yeah, that was basically they didn't get enough units. So they didn't want to start selling them, and they're like, "Oh, people coming for the pre-orders." Like, sorry, you don't have it. It's like, but I pre-ordered it. So
yeah,
it's
that's
like, we can't
fair.
sell it.
Yeah, that is fair. Because like, if I had a pre-order, I would have been pissed if I couldn't get it. But I'd like to think there'd be some kind of, I don't know, inventory system, like X amount of people bought the game pre-ordered, so have these many on hand, and anything beyond that.
If you pre-order from, say, like the Target, do you have to pick it up at that same Target that you pick it up at?
I have no idea.
Because I know some other stores you could pick it up at any location. It doesn't matter which location you pre-order from.
Yeah, well, maybe. I have no idea. Maybe you can't. Maybe that's why they have it that way. But if that's the case, then
they should sell more of it.
Yeah, they should have...
When Target gets swarmed and it's like, oh, we've been having a whole bunch of pre-orders go out.
If you're not going to keep track of how many you have from the individual store, you should have X number more than you like. I think, and if you can go, I guess, to any store, in theory,
you could pick up the pre-order. Best Buy does that too, right? Like you can just go to any Best Buy and pick up the game if you order from there.
Well, you tend to buy more stuff from Best Buy than I do.
I haven't gone in a while. Their stuff is so overpriced now.
I remember when Best Buy used to be the
Cool.
new kid on the block. Yeah, it was like the newcomer, and then it's like, oh, this is a Best Buy place. They got really good prices, and they got all this stuff.
It's like you got Good Guys, Circuit City, and Extent Comp USA.
So yeah. And then Best Buy came out, and it was like, wow, look at all this stuff.
And then everybody closed down, and Best Buy was the only one left. And it's like, man.
Man, I could really go for a Circuit City. Said no one ever. Well, no.
Well, in their last days, they actually had really good deals.
Right, but that barely counts because they were on the outs. You weren't saving them by buying. They were just like, I don't know what we're gonna do with
But
this
their
stuff.
prices were like $5 or $10 lower than Best Buy regularly for all the new releases. So I would always get my movies and games on release day from there.
That's because is that because they were at that point competing? Like, was it always that way, or was Circuit City?
No, it wasn't always. They were the expensive
were the
ones.
expensive
Best Buy
one.
was the bargain value brand.
And they swapped once Best Buy started
Yeah.
started getting. And it's like we could do that too, but then by then they were already. Oh, we've gone too far.
Yeah.
We can't save ourselves.
Look at all these customers.
Good guys, help us. We're going away too. But I mean, yeah. Now all you have is Best Buy, and I don't like going there because it's kind of expensive. Yeah.
And the selection's like not nearly as big as it used to be. Like it's just kind of a selection of the more popular stuff. So like say movies and music, you can't really find some of the older things, and it's like that's kind of why I feel like a lot of these brick and mortar places are losing business to online retailers. Like,
And isn't also like people were saying that a lot of people are coming in and demoing stuff,
yeah,
like in the brick and mortar stores. Like, yeah, this is good. I think I'll go online and buy it.
Amazon's actually rumored to open a store in New York, like an actual brick and mortar store of stuff, and I'm like, how's that going to work?
Or why would you do that?
Just because there's enough people who still don't shop online on Black Friday and they want to go to a store to buy things, like have it tangible, something tangible to hold in their hands and walk out the door with after they part with their money,
Well,
and not have to wait for the mail.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, for Black Friday, but for any other time.
Yeah, it seems more like a pop-up shop. I don't think it's something permanent.
Okay, then that's an interesting idea. Then
Kind of like you see there's no KB toy stores or anything like that anymore.
right.
So around Black Friday, you see the Toys R Us Express pop-up shops pop up in the malls and just weird places, like the Halloween shops come up
Oh,
all over the place.
I don't remember if I saw that one with Toys R Us. I mean, that sounds like something that, yeah, I could see that in my head. I guess I maybe tried to avoid the malls during the holiday season.
The funny thing is, when you walk in, it feels just like a KB.
Ah,
Kind of like more the cheaper, no-name toys that no one really wanted, but they're cheap.
I worked at a KB. That might have been my, no, maybe I was gonna say my first job, but I don't actually know. I don't think so. But now I'm getting confused. But I did work there seasonally, at the one at the Galleria, South Bay Galleria, before they got rid of that one or all KB toy stores. Obviously,
Yeah.
a long time ago. KB was always the poor version of Toys R Us,
Yeah.
basically, right?
It's like, oh, I want to go to Toys R Us. It's like it's too big and expensive and too far away. There's only that one way further down.
But there's KB.
There's
right?
KBs everywhere. It's like a toy store is a toy store when you're little.
Well, that is true, actually.
Yay.
Hey, toy. Yeah, kind of. I mean,
Except when you're little where you could spend hours in a Toys R Us. KB, you're like,
Yep.
yeah, no more than an
it's
hour.
done. I'm done. I'm going to go read a good book now.
You're in there for half an hour. It's like, there's nothing here.
Because Toys R Us is like a country of toys. KB is like the outhouse of toys, where it's just like,
Which
yep.
is why they're not around anymore.
Yeah, it's like, I was gonna say it's unfortunate because there's no real competition, I guess. For not that I'm saying KB was a big competition to Toys R Us, or was it around before Toys R Us?
I kind of want to say it maybe around the same time or maybe a little bit after. Because I remember
Yeah.
Toys R Us being around for a long time. Even when they had their classic jingle in the 80s. I
Being a
don't want
Toys,
to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
I don't really see commercials for Toys R Us anymore. Do they do that jingle still, or kind of
No.
a thing of it? They just have a
Maybe a
hipper one.
background melody. No, they didn't go like hip, like Chuck E. Cheese went hip with their stuff. Where they turned the mouse into like really tiny and then made him like punk rock skateboarding.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, because I mean, back in the day, it was kind of scary actually. If you went to Chuck E. Cheese,
Well, even now they still have some of the older animatronics up.
there's that and
Pizza's still good though.
I believe that's open for debate. I don't know. Like, I can't remember the last time.
I only get like the Supreme or whatever comes with everything.
I don't remember the last. I think the last time I went there was maybe. Actually, I don't even remember the last time I went there. But then again, I didn't
The
expect
games
much
cost
from the
more than a token. Now it's just one token for any game, which has brought the quality way down, and the prizes like really, really suck now.
because they don't really have like arcade games. Like it's the like ticket games. I think a lot of those ones, but not an arcade.
Right, like skee ball, shooting hoops, and knocking down the things.
Right, it's stuff that. Well, I guess actually it's good because you're active at least, so it's something. You're getting the kids moving. So
not much action.
Well, back in our arcades, you just need just a regular joystick and control. So it's just
unless you're playing Punch Out
unless you're playing Punch Out, yes,
or air hockey,
all right.
which I dominate.
Well, they used to have the. Do you remember seeing those ones, the hockey ones, where it was kind of like.
Oh, with a dome over the
with
top,
a dome
like,
over,
like
it was
foosball, but hockey.
But like because the knobs were at the ends, and you were just like were adjusting them. It wasn't on the sides; it was at the ends.
Awkwardly hard.
But you don't. I don't. Well, I don't see that anymore. But I don't really see arcades anymore, other than Chuck E. Cheese or something where it's quote unquote an arcade area, but it's not like you don't see like arcades we grew up with. But I was talking to somebody about that, and it's different now because you could go home and get a much better experience now because the home consoles are so advanced.
Oh, that's what it was.
It's pointless to go to an arcade where you had to go to see all the cool stuff.
Yeah, and the thing that's been coming back were those retro arcades. I think they were saying, well, more the kind of trendy-ish ones would be the barcades.
Right, the hip ones.
The hipster arcades.
Right, you get drunk and you get to play arcade games.
Like Dave and Buster's, but with older games.
Older games.
It's like, I remember playing this.
Possibly cheaper.
Golden Tee.
Actually, I remember seeing Golden Tee everywhere. That's like one arcade game that you could go to a bar, you could go to a bowling alley. They always had a Golden Tee machine. Like if they had darts and a pool table, they probably had a Golden Tee machine right next to it.
Do you remember California Adventure when they had the electronica, like music dance festival party thing at night?
Well, they had
and they had Flynn's Arcade.
Flynn's Arcade.
So it had it was set up just like the movie in, what was it, Tron Evolution?
Yes, I think that was, yeah.
No, Uprising was a TV show.
Yeah, Evolution I think is the one.
So they had all those arcade games in there, and you walk in and felt like a legitimate arcade. It was really cool. And then when that ended, it kind of got dismantled and games disappeared. I don't know what Disney did with the things. Maybe they mothballed it, put it in storage. Some of them kind of came back up in the Starcade, and it's cool.
Do you remember when the Starcade used to be 2 floors?
Yes. And the second floor had just a bunch of air hockey tables. They had like 8 air hockey tables up there. Now they just have like 1 or 2.
Do they still have the upper area now?
Yeah, the upper area is there. They just block off the escalator.
Oh, wait.
With tarps. They set up a cash wrap area because they turned it to like half arcade, half merchandise.
Right. Yeah, I remember when they closed it, the upper area just completely. I guess that they had reopened it. It had been a while since I've been there.
Yeah, they took the X-Wing down from there and put it into the main Star Trader
Okay.
up on the ceiling there.
Now, do you remember way back when the Penny Arcade? Was the Penny Arcade like actually? It had the I didn't say that
The mutoscopes?
Yes,
Where you put in a penny and then you just...
But it had all
turn
of them. The whole thing was like that, right? It was like a long time ago, before they put the
yeah, they had the ones where
there.
you could actually crank it, and then they had the ones which were motorized, so they self-cranked, and then they have a selection of those, but yeah, there were a lot more of them.
It was the whole area in the Penny Arcade was that whole thing, and then now it's the candy store, right?
Yeah. Well, the candy store expanded into it, and the Penny Arcade still retains the name and the architecture on the outside, but it's basically just
an extension of the candy store.
Yeah.
But I was trying to remember when I was walking by. I was like, yeah, there used to be something different here. It used to be
They still have the electric whatever machine.
It's supposed to like test your something or other.
Let's just see how can you handle how much electrocution.
How much electrocution can you handle in your body?
Which isn't really weird. It wasn't that bad. It just made your arms tingle, kind of feel weird, like
I remember, I always did it whenever I was there. It's still there. Then.
Yeah, that one's still there, and then they have the Esmeralda fortune teller front and center. That's still there. It's classic. And then some of the mutoscopes here and there, kind of around. Those are still a penny, but the condition of the cards are pretty bad.
Well, member figures.
Yeah, but I think when I was in Sacramento, I stumbled upon an arcade in Old Sacramento, the Old Town area of it. And it's like, wow, these are all these classic 80s games.
Did you play them?
No, I didn't have any change on me. I just walked in and I started taking pictures like, ooh, this is cool, that's cool. And then
that's why
nobody in there.
Like, this is cool. I'm going to leave now. I'm like, you don't want to play a game? Nope, no change. And then no one plays them, and then they disappear.
And I think the change machine, you could put money in, but it would give you tokens. It wouldn't give you actual quarters.
Well, nothing takes quarters these days anymore, for whatever reason.
I think Disneyland does.
Does it?
In the Starcade, I think they do.
I thought they took tokens there, too.
Did they change it back? Because it was running off quarters for a while.
Oh, maybe then. Although what I remember from that Starcade was it was kind of expensive to play stuff in there.
It started off using tokens, and then I think it went to quarters.
I mean, might as well use quarters, because then someone will have a spare quarter with them, and Disney's willing to take any money, whether it be change or dollars. So maybe they figured, if we put in tokens, people might not go change for tokens, but if they have an extra quarter in their pocket, they'll drop a quarter in, even though everything's at least, it seems, 50 cents or more. I think the pinball machine was like $1 or something.
Oh yeah.
It's like
the machines that should be the cheapest to play are like one of the most expensive ones.
I was like, oh my goodness. And I want, but it got me, because the problem with the pinball is it's an experience that you can only get on a machine. Like you can't really.
I want a pinball machine.
You can't simulate that. Or you can simulate it, but you just don't get the same feel as being at a machine.
Actually, I want a few pinball machines.
Like you want a few pinball machines or specific ones?
Specific ones.
Like which ones?
The Star Wars ones. Not
okay.
the new ones, but they had the trilogy.
I think
the one that was like wrapped in gold, and I think it was made by Sega. And then there's another one that kind of focused on, I think, each of the 3 movies, like one at a time. So you had like an X-Wing in one that would shoot down the Death Star trench, like the pinball would load into the X-Wing and then shoot out. Another one was it was more centered on Hoth. So they had the ion cannon and the AT-AT walkers, and I think there's a Return of the Jedi one too. So you want
basically every Star Wars pinball machine made.
And then the trilogy was the one that just kind of enveloped everything.
Right.
And then after that, they had the Phantom Menace game, which overlaid video holograms, air quotes. And it was basically a monitor that sat above the glass, and the ball would interact with it with cameras that would see and blow up droids and stuff. And it's like, I played it and like, this is lame and it's expensive.
Well, yeah.
But the other ones I was playing, because like when you're little, you go to Vegas, parents go gamble, you just stay at the arcade, and that thing was only a quarter to play.
That seems dangerous. But that's how it was when I
That's
went
how
to
most
Vegas.
families.
Yes, that's how. I mean, I don't know if it's changed now and people have gotten safer and actually.
Well, the arcades now, like I still go back and check out the arcades, and they've shrunk down a lot. I think the only good one is New York,
Really?
and
Well, yeah.
Excalibur. They have their Fungeon.
Right. It's a
Fun dungeon.
But yeah, I remember growing up, and whenever my parents would either go to either State Line or Vegas, they just kind of drop me off in the arcade and give me like a $5 bill, 20 quarters, and everything was only usually a quarter unless it was something big. Then it was 50 cents. And like I'd sit there. I some of them were just really small. I remember going to the arcade in California in downtown Las Vegas, and it was basically maybe the size of like one regular bedroom or something, just with games around it. So you could stand in the middle and see basically every game.
That's the sad thing too, is a lot of places turned into that. Like they just turned into like a 1-bedroom version of their former selves. It's like it used to be like 5-10 times bigger.
You'd walk around and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I remember I still have, it's a weird thing. I spent so much time in those arcades because it just became the place I was sitting, that sounds from the arcade, like I'll hear them. If I hear them anywhere else, I'm instantly teleported back to that moment because they're so ingrained in my head. Like one that comes to mind is the Daytona USA one that played, because it was really loud because usually like
and there's a bank of cars.
Yeah, there was always it was a multi-cabinet one, so there's a bank of cars, and
that was too expensive for me.
And it just screamed out like Daytona, and it had that song, and it just keep repeating over and over.
Yeah, mine was a cheaper version. I had Cruisin' USA. It's like
Cruisin', right?
USA.
Yes, I do remember that too. That was that was later on too. And yeah, anytime I hear, it's like when I built my arcade machine, I was like, I some of them I just listened to the theme, just like it'd take me back, just not even playing it, just because because Daytona was like $1 or something. I'm like, I haven't got that kind of money just to drive a car around. I need to spend it on these other games.
And didn't they come out with another version of that where it was like on a motion base?
Well, they probably still had those, but I think you had to go to somewhere like special, like what was those? They had those like a GameWorks, but before, like a Sega version of it or something, where it was like it was basically they had all those motion ride versions, and it had the one with the cars in it. Or have you seen that one? Speaking of those ones, have you seen the one for Initial D?
Yes.
I
have a card.
But the ones in Japan, like, because they have like a build, like an arcade, I believe. I can't remember what it's called now off the top of my head, but they have, I think it's just floors of games kind of thing. And one of, but I remember you've seen it, right? The that particular one with Initial D, where they have the cars, like the whole cars, not just like or not the whole car, but like you're inside.
I haven't seen that one in person. I've seen the pictures online, but I've played the older ones where it's just the seats in front of the screen and everything. But the whole car mock-up, I've seen those online.
Oh yeah, but I think it was only in Japan, cool. Like, because that's.
I would like to have one as well to put in my game room. That I will have at some point in the future.
Just just the car or something?
No, the whole arcade cabinet, and link them up together. That'd be awesome. Have that, pinball machines, air hockey, pool table.
Like a man cave.
Never really got into foosball. Don't need a foosball table.
They're really into
definitely air hockey and definitely pool.
Would you have that hockey one? Not the air hockey, but the one with the paddles, like the foosball hockey one.
No. I was always frustrated by that. And I was like, turn, go. No, it's stuck. What the heck?
Yeah, so you get like the hockey sticks stuck in between each other.
And then you get scored on and like,
Would you have like a DDR machine in there?
Yes. I would have the third mix. And then probably the last version which they came out with, which I think was 5th or 6th mix. I can't remember. But you could kind of call back some of the older stuff. But third mix is like the classics and the really, really old stuff. And then I think the new machine, the latest one, had that all the way up until after third mix.
I think
so that way you would have everything, the whole library.
I think I played one, or not too recently, but when I went to this the Incredible Pizza place. I forget what it was called.
And John's
Incredible
Pizza.
But they have a nice arcade actually. A lot of it is ticketed stuff, but they have a few games. They had a DDR machine. It was a bunch of. I guess I had played DDR when it was new, but then I fell out, so like all the mixes and stuff, I played it. I'm like, I don't know any of these songs.
That's why I want a third mix machine, because that's when I first got introduced to it. It's like, oh, all these songs and they're cool. And then as later mixes came out, the songs started getting weird.
They weren't your songs, and even by the third mix, they weren't even my songs. Like Butterfly, that was that one. Anyone? Yeah.
Yes,
See, that
Butterfly.
that was the one at least in the beginning. I don't even think. Or maybe it does have that one on every system, probably.
I think they re-released it for the new one.
I think it's probably the one is the staple song. They just remix it in ways, but it's kind of the intro song I think everyone played at the beginning. It's like, oh yeah, Butterfly. That was the first one ever. But then they just remix it.
That's the one that like people liked and hated at the same time.
I could see that because it became a thing. It was always the first one everyone played too, because it was the one almost like
it's catchy.
The tutorial one. Yeah, it was very catchy, and that was like the first one I looked for on the machine. I was like, come on, because I need to ease back into it because I had.
You like hold down both arrows and then hit the button so you can get to the menu.
It's been a while since I'd played EDR. I'm not rolling on both sides, jumping around. I did, but it was a good workout. I mean, I think I remember back in the day, I was like, I could do this as a workout. Probably could actually, because
I bought into that when they came out with the versions like across all the old consoles, like PlayStation and.
But you had to use the
Nintendo.
plastic mat.
Yeah,
which is.
And when Red Octane was still around, and they sold the quality mat, where it was like dense. 1.5 or 2 inch thick foam with raised buttons so you could feel where you are on the pad without having to look down.
Yeah, that's much better than every other one. Like I would say knockoff, but it's basically the main one, the normal one.
The best knockoff out there.
Yes.
And then they actually sold a metal version of the dance pad too, except it was really, really, really really expensive.
I have no doubt.
So it's like I saved up just to buy the regular foam mat with the raised arrows.
That's as far as you were going to go.
That was my limit. I'm like, oh, that's it.
I debated building one or something like that. Like if you could find maybe plans, because I mean, I guess there's got to be a way, but it was even complicated just as in like a DIY project that I don't know if I could pull it off, but it'd be interesting to try it again. But it takes up a lot of space too. That's the other problem. And I remember with the plastic mats, like if you had carpet, that thing was going all over the place. You were gonna 2-3 notes in the song. You're like, where am I even standing? You had to spend most of your time because you couldn't tell unless you had the better mat.
Yeah, and then you also had to have that plastic cover too, to help keep it from sliding around more and then kind of maintain the integrity of the mat from using it so much.
Right. So maybe if you did it on... I was thinking, like, because I always did it on carpet because that's always where the living room was, but maybe if on a hardwood floor maybe it might be better, or
what I did, I bought those workout pads, the ones that interlock.
Oh, yeah.
The foam ones, and then I just put that over the carpet and I laid out an area and just kind of walled it off.
Actually,
I just covered up the carpet with that and then put the mat on top of that, and it held pretty well.
When I got it, I actually had I lived on the second floor above other people, and when I got it, I found that playing DDR in my room was a poor idea for those people who lived below me, because I mean, the slightest jump would be like just you could hear it.
Earthquake.
So if I played an entire song,
saw like dust is coming down from the ceiling.
Exactly. But I really wanted to play it, but I ended up getting those mats to try to cushion but it didn't do enough. Even like at best I could play it, but I have to step lightly. There's no jumping. There's just like, so if I had to move fast, I couldn't move fast actually. So I was like, this is never going to work kind of thing. So
Is that when you moved over from DDR to Dance Maniacs?
Dance Maniac. Wait,
The one with the sensors, and you could do doubles and have 8 sensors total, top and bottom.
I think I like
it's
that.
like the pink and blue discs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I think, oh no, I was thinking of Paradise, but the Dance Maniacs. I don't know why I liked it. It seemed a little easier.
And the music is just as catchy too.
Right. But yeah, I had the ones I played because we used to go down to the Nickel arcade. And yeah, they had this song, and then I got good at playing it. But it's the only place I ever saw it, and I bet they still have it there. We should totally go down there, but it's probably all broken and stuff.
Well, the last time we were there, it was broken. Like when the sensors wasn't registering, so you couldn't play it.
You can't play it.
So the only machine that we were really able to play was the Para machine.
Right.
And it sucked because that machine had all the good songs. They had this one, Heaven is the 57 Metallic Gray. And then the other one was the Happy Hopper.
Oh, right. Yes. It had a lot of good songs on it. There's one I'd like to, I don't know if I'd like to get it, but I would like to play it, the Dance Maniacs.
Oh, wow.
I feel nostalgic for playing it again, but I don't know if I need to own it.
No, I think you need to own it.
I don't. Well, it's kind of one of those ones that I never saw anywhere else. It wasn't super popular like your Dance Dance or your Beat Mania. I remember seeing Beat Mania for the first time actually when I was in Vegas. I think it was it was at State Line at Buffalo Bills. I think they had that machine, but it was the first time I'd ever seen it. It was like, is that like a record on it and with buttons on it? It's confusing, but I remember that was the first time I saw it. Yeah, this one from, I think they probably had this in Dance Dance, but this is the one I remember playing also in Dance Maniacs. And I'd play on both sides because I was hardcore like that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that till I saw you play. I'm like, I think I can do that. Because the beat is basically right in your face, and it's really easy to keep up with, and the steps aren't too complicated.
Right.
As long as you weren't trying to pay attention to it, you just kind of register it peripherally, and then kind of just do it.
You saw the, I'd say, notes or the beats on the screen, what you're supposed to be at, but you could follow the music because it just followed.
Yeah.
It had very distinct beats, so you could just like, okay,
and it
I
just
see
matched
them
up exactly with what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. Although I think for like I use my hands for both the top and bottom, but I think you're supposed to use your legs for the bottom part.
No, I just use my hands.
Yeah, I did too.
That's too much work.
I was like, I think when I saw it, I was like, oh, you're supposed to do it that way? Well, I'm going to do it this way because I like doing it this way. It's fun and I'm not moving it's easy. It is easier kind of thing. But I think you're supposed to break the bottom beams because you're supposed to it's like Para where you have to break the beams, but it's just like a column of beam you have to break, so you can just wave your hand across it. But yeah, that takes me back. As good times when we used to hang out down at the Nickel arcade. But then you said, or had you been back there? Not recently, but
no, the one close to my house over here, there's a Nickel arcade over here, same brand, company, whatever, but they shut down. It's like out of business. And then from the reviews I was seeing online, it's like, yeah, it wasn't really a place you wanted to go. You kind of had to pay to get in, and they wouldn't tell you that nothing worked
until you tried to play anything.
Yeah, and by then you already lost some coins, and you're walking around and like, well, I paid an entrance fee. This sucks. Nothing works, and
yeah, I guess it's got to be hard to make your money back. And because people are already playing a nickel up to what, a quarter, or what's like the most expensive one?
Yeah, I think you put in dropping 5 nickels or.
So
actually, I think there were more. Like some of the newest ones would run off 10 or 12 nickels.
So even then, though, like for those ones, it's gotta be. I assume it's gotta be hard to just upkeep, obviously, because everything would. When something would break, it definitely wasn't on their list of priorities to fix it as soon as possible.
Yeah,
it's just, oh, that game's broken. Maybe time will fix it for itself. but they weren't gonna fix it, or maybe they just didn't have the funds to fix it because people are only paying a nickel and whatever the entrance fee is to get in. So it's kind of it's not going to save itself kind of thing. It's like once the game breaks, it's going to probably stay broken because we can't afford to fix it. And then no one's going to want to play it, so that game makes no money. So people will play the other games, and they'll wear out, they'll break. We're not going to fix those either, and eventually every game's broken.
So the arcade's basically killing itself, and that's why consoles are...
Well, the nickel
surviving.
ones anyways. But then for just regular arcades, like now they have to be... A lot of them are shooters. Like I see a lot of games that have
Time
peripherals.
Crisis.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's
Sniper Scope?
or things you ride in kind of thing. They have to be bigger
Jurassic
like
Park.
that. Yes, exactly. Stuff like that. Things moving or where you're holding something, because they can't just get you with the factor of it looks better than you would play at home. This ain't Atari or Nintendo where the graphics were kind of not as good. So you go to the arcade to have an experience where you're like, wow, look at these games. They look amazing. Now you can go home and that game's going to come out.
Well, back in the day, they connected it. Like you bring your memory card from your home console and plug it into the arcade unit.
Well, that was
And then
later
you just-
on, too.
yeah.
That was like around, right, when N64 kind of time. But that's a few generations out from... And even by that time, arcades were
We're
still
already-
prevalent, but still you
they
could
were
start to see on
going
the
down, on the
horizon
decline.
where they were on the decline. They still needed to do stuff like 4 players, like, and with the plug-in play and stuff like that. But yeah, they were on the decline because a lot of the games, good games were coming out because it's around the N64, and you had really good games on Super Nintendo and such that you could have a good gaming experience at home without even going to the arcade. They were still good at the arcade, still better at the arcade. They still had games that were better than your home console, but now that's all different. You don't need to go at all. You could play the latest Street Fighter game at home when it releases. Back in the day, you had to go to the arcade. It's like, oh, they came out with another Street Fighter. I got to go play it. You don't have to do
But
that
it
anymore.
doesn't seem like it has the same cachet anymore. It's more like Super Smash Brothers. That's a pretty hot game that it's hard to find this copy for the 3DS. I've been trying to look,
Well, definitely, yeah.
and
I
they're
mean-
sold out, right? Well,
See, when I went and got mine, I did go to Target, like you were saying, and they were sold out, like you said.
not sold out, just weren't willing to sell it to you because of the pre-order obligation.
I think they might have told me they were sold out and just not even bothered to tell me about the whole other stuff. And then I went to another Target, they didn't have it
Like
there.
I see it right there behind the counter. You got like 3 boxes of them.
Well, actually, when I went to the
They're not
Toys,
for
I was going to go to a Best Buy, but there was a Toys R Us across the way, so I was like, oh, I'll go there first. Yeah, they might have it there. And I go over there to the Toys R Us, I go to the video game section, and they have it like in the shelf behind the plastic case. I'm like, oh, can I get one of the Smash Brothers? He's like, okay. And then he doesn't walk towards that, he just works towards the counter. And I'm like, oh, I was pointing at the game, and he's like,
And he
then
walks away from you.
He walks away. He walks over to the counter, and he literally has just a box on the floor full of the games. Actually, because I
he's
guess
like, how many?
they anticipated a lot of people, I guess, and just had more than they needed because he just pulled out.
Because
One of the
everyone goes to
games.
Target and Best Buy to buy their stuff.
Apparently, because I was like, oh, well, that was simple. If I just come here first, I guess it depends on the game too. Maybe a Pokemon might have been sold out at Toys R Us.
True.
Smash Brothers, it's all ages kind of thing, but a lot of adults seem to like it. Whereas Pokemon,
You're
it's
an
all
adult.
ages.
Do you like it?
Yes, but I play video games a lot, so
But this one you play and it keeps you up at night.
it's terrible. And I don't
In
even.
a good way.
It's terrible in a good way, but I don't have the urge to always just play it. But like, I'll just go, oh, if I'm free for a second, I'm like, oh, let me just play one fight.
The first one's free.
Yes, one fight. What's gonna happen? And then cut to like a couple hours later, like, what happened? And it's like, fight ended. I started another one, and the thing in this one is they have like the challenges. They probably had in the other ones, but it makes me want to play I want to complete all the challenges, like play the specific mode with all the fighters. And I don't even know how many fighters there are, like 30 or something. But you have to
Plus hidden ones.
well, yeah, it's a lot of characters, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I want to do all the challenges because it's fun to do them, but then it just becomes like a more of a obsessive compulsive kind of thing. It's like, I have to do them all. I have to unlock them all kind of thing. But the whole fun of the game is to play with other people, and none of my friends have the game, apparently.
Yet.
But yeah,
Not
yet.
yet.
But that's, how long has the
I'll
game been out
eventually
now?
get it. Well, we'll probably get it by the time it releases on the Wii U.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though none of us have a Wii U. And it'd be way more awesome to play on there.
It
Yes.
would, but the nice thing about 3DS is we could be at Disneyland and go, hey, let's get a quick game in.
Get a
Or you could
quick
play
sesh.
online, actually. You could play with your friends online and connect with them. I'm pretty sure. I
As long
wouldn't
as
know
everyone
because none of
has
my
a
friends have
cartridge.
it, so...
But everyone has to have a cartridge. You can't do...
Yeah, there's no download play for it.
That's one of the things that sucks about Nintendo is like they moved away from... They were the ones who actually pushing... It's like, first party game, you only need to buy one game and you can play amongst your friends. And all the other third party companies would be like, no, you gotta buy a cartridge for each person that wants to play.
Well, I mean, they did
So-
it for Mario Kart 7 had download play. I'm surprised that this one didn't have download play, but I could kind of understand, I guess. Although, no, the demo, you still had to download the game, so
Yeah.
it's not really
But-
a download play.
They disabled the download feature in the demo too. So you can't connect to someone else who has the game and play.
Oh.
So it literally is just that one you're playing with yourself, by yourself.
Right. I did play online. Like they have two online modes. One's called For Glory and one's for Fun. The fun one is it has items in it, so the items are on, and it's not ranked. Like you don't get it. Like if you win, lose, it doesn't keep track of it.
Because it's for fun.
It's for fun. And then the other mode, For Glory, has no items, and it's ranked. And there's a few other things, but I played the For Glory just to try it out, and some of the matches were
And then
kind of unplayable.
5 hours later,
No, I like maybe if it had been silky smooth, but it was not a smooth experience all the time. It started to bog down, and certain times it just stopped altogether. It had the loading icon, so you could see something was happening.
I'm
But
wondering if that has anything to do with the 3DS hardware itself. Because you know how they're coming out the new one, right?
right, but I don't know if they had the same problems with Mario Kart 7 with syncing up. I mean, it might be just it's
Maybe there's more stuff going on.
it might be more
or-
stuff going on, but then would that mean it's the game that's not optimized very well for online play, or is it
I don't know.
like
'cause
just people poor connection? Because I've heard some people say they've had two extremes. They've had almost pretty much unplayable or unplayable because it's so laggy, or silky smooth, no problems at all, but no kind of middle area.
maybe it's a connection.
It might be because I kind of had the middle area where I just stayed in the same match and people could drop in and drop out, sort of. Like if you had open spots in your room, whatever room you're in, then people would join into that room.
I'm wondering if it also has something to do with the quality control on the units, because you know how we all go to Disneyland and we're walking around with the DS in our pockets trying to like farm spot passes from everyone else who's over there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're walking around and one of us will have like 10 people already lined up at the gate, and then another person would be like, I only got 2. It's like, you got 2, I got 5. It's like not consistent, and it's not like we split up, we're all walking together. So that maybe that's another thing, like the Wi-Fi thing isn't really consistent within the units itself.
Yeah, maybe.
But the new unit, it's supposed to be twice as fast. Like from turning the system on from an off position to loading the game and starting a match, on the original 3DS, boot time is 32 seconds. And then on the new 3DS, the boot time's 16 seconds because of the faster processor, more memory, and all that stuff. So
Yeah, it's an upgrade.
As a fan, I would have wanted to have the bundle with the new one, then I would have bought that. But they're not releasing this one till next year or something.
Well, here.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
already out in
US of A.
Australia, has it?
I think
Yeah.
so. And Japan and New Zealand. It was weird, but well, maybe they wanted us to buy the bundle because they did also announced kind of when they announced the new 3DS, they also announced the new designs for the old 3DS. Old being the one we have now, but now you could get them in new designs, and which is weird timing because now it's like, well, we want people to buy these, why else make them? But we are also announced that there's a new, stronger, better system coming out. They're
taking the Apple approach.
Like, you can buy this now, or you can wait and get a better one, which we've said is better pretty much in every way later. And this old one will be old kind of thing. But, I mean, it'll have the new design kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I guess they're doing the Wii U bundle, you said.
A bundle just for the game, not console and game.
Oh, right.
So there's the bundle where you can buy the Wii U game of Smash Brothers, which is going to be $59.99 by itself. And then there's the bundle which comes with the game, and then I think the old school GameCube controller with the Smash Brothers logo on it, and a GameCube adapter. So you plug into the USB port, and then you get 4 classic GameCube ports that you can plug into. And that's a $19.99 value by itself for the adapter, or if it's bundled in with the game, then the game and the controller and the adapter is like $99.99.
I think I heard that the adapter though only works for Smash Brothers Wii U. Like, you can't use it
on like Virtual Console or anything like that.
Yeah, you can use it for other stuff. It just works for Smash Brothers.
I guess I'm okay with that.
I mean, if it's true, I don't know. I thought I had heard that that's how that peripheral works. It doesn't work just across the board. You can't just use it.
The Nintendo of Australia, they confirmed that it will work with the Wavebird, the adapter.
Right.
So you're not going to be tethered to the thing. So I have 4 Wavebirds, so that's perfect for me. If I get a Wii U.
Right.
When? If? I don't know. One of those.
Well, you did say you were going to get it for this, if they were going to get it for anything.
But I kind of said if they had a bundle for it. And there's not going to be a bundle for Smash Brothers. They instead went to go with Super Mario Brothers World as a bundle, and then the Mario Kart as a bundle. So I think the Mario Kart version's at Walmart, and then everyone else gets the Super Mario World bundle, which comes with the World, and I can't remember if it came with Mario U and Luigi. Yeah, but basically it's the games that are already out and you can buy them. People kind of haven't really taken a shine to them, it seems.
So the Mario Kart 8 was big, but it did move. It moved consoles. Like, everyone expected a brawl bundle to move more, but the 8 one did move a lot of consoles. Actually, a lot of people were hyped and were really happy with the Mario Kart 8.
I still think they should have did a brawl bundle.
You expected them to do one.
It would have made sense, and they would have sold way more games and consoles.
Probably.
But now I'm kind of just holding out and waiting. It's not that big of a deal to me anymore.
True, but you could still buy them.
I could.
So, I mean, if you're that big a fan of the game, then
but it
you'd
would have
buy
been
it.
Cheaper to have a bundle, and then
yeah,
if
of course
they did
it would have been cheaper.
then,
but like, you know, if you're that big a fan of the game, you'll buy it.
Some exclusive bonusing that you could only get with a bundle.
Well, that's good for you, but for them, they're like, well, we just make money on people who like the game. Kind of like it's kind of supposed to be, I guess, a console pusher. Why give away the free, the great game that's going to come out?
Maybe it'll come out with a bundle next year, like double dip.
Maybe, but I could kind of understand. I mean, the games that they're putting out, they're not Smash Brothers, but they're not bad games either. Like I said, Mario Kart 8 might not be your cup of tea, but apparently it was a lot of people's, because it did actually surprisingly push a lot of the consoles more than they expected. But
it's cool, but I wasn't going to drop that much money just on the console in that one game.
Well, for you, but you'd do it for Smash Brothers. But what if you were a kart fan?
With Smash Brothers, I would go back. I would get the bundle, and then I would go back and buy all those other ones, like all the first party titles and everything.
Well, I mean, you're not like a really big Mario Kart fan, I guess.
No, yeah, I am.
Obviously not, because you didn't buy Mario Kart 8. Not that big. enough that you
Not
buy a
hardcore.
console for it. Yeah. And the
But
idea
if I
would
already
be,
had the console, then I would have gotten on release day.
well, yeah. But I mean, if you already had it, sure. But I mean, it's kind of their big game, so it's almost like they don't need to bundle it, I guess is how they see it, because like people like, I don't know, Metal Gear Solid, they've got diehard fans, but they ain't bundling a PS, or I mean,
They did
later
a
on,
PS3
yeah,
bundle.
I guess they do that. I don't know. I guess they could have. I should have. It would have been good, but
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I guess they thought we might as well just try to get the money from them by them buying.
Yeah, I
it.
really think it's that Apple mentality, sales mentality. So, kind of a turnoff, but I'll probably get it later on once I have a feeling they will bundle it. A hunch.
Okay.
And if not, then it'll be cheaper when all the prices drop later on. Like for the console, at least.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because the console's due for another price drop, but not until after the holiday season.
Yeah. I guess because usually the problem is if you wait, then all the buzz and such is gone for it, and then you don't really feel like playing it anymore because no one's talking about it. It's like, hey, I'm playing this game now. It's like, yeah, that was last year, and you don't really feel like playing them anymore. Smash Brothers might be the exception to that rule because that's always a good time. You just throw that in. Regardless, you could throw in the older ones and still have a good time with that one. But I guess other games start feeling old faster because there's so many new games coming out every couple months that this is the new hot game and everyone's hyped about that one, so you'll want to play that one, the new one, and forget about the old one. Like I said, not Smash Brothers excluded because that kind of is fun anytime kind of thing. It's not really hyped up pretty much.
Yeah. Well, that one releases on the Wii U on November 21st. So the week before Black Friday. Get a jump on the sales.
Yeah, I guess so. But then I guess they're going to have sales on Black Friday.
And at that same time, they're going to release those amiibo figurines with the NFC chip in there. So you can use them as like trading figures or enhance your characters and get extra health.
Which is interesting because some of those things they also use them on the 3DS, just not the ones we currently have. Like you can use them on the new one,
but
but they ain't out yet here. So it's just like, well, you can still use them on the Wii U, but if you have but you can't get a new 3DS.
Maybe I should wait for a bundle for the new 3DS as well.
Well, because that waiting for a bundle has worked so far.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, this is the first console which I haven't jumped on. Like as soon as it came out, it's like,
Well, it's kind of like a failed marketing thing, and calling it the Wii U,
Well,
I think was a poor naming convention, really, because it's confusing, really. It sounds like a peripheral, and it looks like a peripheral, even though it's a completely new system. At least you can tell a PlayStation 3 is different from PlayStation 4.
Yeah, for the ones who did know, and they were clear that it was a brand new system, they're saying, well, it's not really anything revolutionary, unique. It's basically like taking the old Wii and making it HD.
But it is technically Nintendo's next system. It was technically because it already happened.
It's not really a next system. It was more like a half generation step.
Kind of, but you can't play Wii U games on a Wii, so it's not like it's not like that kind of like. It's kind of just a half step up. It's a new system. It's got the whole peripherals. They treat it like it's a new system, sort of. Although, like I said, the marketing was really poor and confusing and unnoticeable, apparently, because no one really noticed that they had a new system at the time. And that's why they've had struggling sales, I think, because just the recognition has been really bad. Like, you knew Xbox One was not the Xbox, the original, even though it could be confusing, but they did a ton of marketing and stuff that said, yes, Xbox One is the new system, even though that's confusing in itself. It could easily have been confused, like, you're talking about the Xbox, the first Xbox One, the first generation kind of thing, but no one confuses that.
That's Xbox first.
That's Xbox first. But no one confuses that. So, but that's mostly because of Microsoft's pushing in. You know, now everyone knew before it came out, oh, the Xbox One is the new system. PlayStation 4, that's
Yeah,
actually a no-brainer.
I saw a thing online that compared the two systems. Is like, oh, the Xbox One, it's a great multimedia platform that can also play video games, and then the PlayStation 4, oh, it's an awesome video game platform that can also play multimedia.
Well, yeah, it's true. Actually, they're kind of. I mean, it seems like they're becoming more on par with the multimedia, because it seems like graphically them pushing they can't really push the graphics anymore. I mean, they are, but it's mostly like
it can
small steps. If
it can
anything.
put out 4K resolution. That's great on my 720p monitor.
Yeah, you got these, and even then, like, you're not wowed by how much graphics are better. Like, if anything, you're like, hey, look at that grass. It looks so real and it's flowing. That's kind of the minute details we're looking at versus...
Yeah, if you had a 4K TV, that would be awesome.
See, we're saying that, but remember days when Nintendo went to Super Nintendo? That was a big leap. That wasn't like oh, look at that grass. Like, look at everything on the screen.
16-bit.
Yeah, as like the next generation of game consoles got consecutively, like, it wowed you because it was so much. It did look so much better. They'd show you the games and you'd be like, "Yeah, that does look better. I will buy it." Yeah, it got better, but now it's reaching kind of that finite area where you can't even. It's like, we got better graphics. Like, yeah, I guess you have to. If you have to run a really side by side comparison, you have to have some extra things saying, "See right here, this is where it's better." Then you've gone to the point where no one can really tell the difference too much. And you're going to have to come up with other ideas.
The mainstream people don't care.
Well, they'll just buy... I mean, those people will just buy the next system. Plus, it's also the fact that the new games aren't going to come out for the old system forever. They might... Some of them, but eventually they'll start just coming out for the new system. So if you want the new games, you're going to have to buy a new system. Not that it may look a lot better, which used to be our benchmark. Like, wow, that looks better and sounds better than the previous generation, whereas now it does, I guess. Now technically, it's
actual like storyline and like how
it's more dependent on the game and stuff like that, more than the processing power of what's in it. Because I guess if you weigh the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 against each other, they're not too far off. Like, you're kind of in the same area roughly. You're dabbling in the same area. You could buy either one, whichever one you like, and then you can kind of get the same gaming experience. Whereas back in the day, if you bought a Genesis or a Super Nintendo, they were different experiences. Like, playing a game on Genesis felt really different from playing it on Super Nintendo. So you had to buy both because you're like, well, or actually at the time, everyone pretty much actually only bought one or the other, it seemed like, unless you were rich. So people were still divided then, like, I'm Sega or I'm Nintendo kind of thing.
SNES.
Yes, I was Nintendo, and then I didn't really... But I remember, like, we used to go to the Sears near us, and they had, down in electronics, the gaming section, not the electronics section, but the game section, they had a kiosk for Genesis, and they had, I think, probably Sonic the Hedgehog 2 playing, and I remember whenever we'd go to Sears, like, I think they did their my parents did the tax returns at the H&R Block down there, but we'd go down this escalator, and they'd go around the corner of the H&R Block. I'd just be drawn to this kiosk of this strange thing, because I had a Super Nintendo. I didn't have a Genesis, and it's like, what's this strange thing?
I kind of did that at Toys R Us before they changed the whole store layout, because they had those aisles just dedicated to video games. You walk down. They had, like, the Atari Jaguar and everything, too, the Virtual Boy setup. Yeah, but you would walk down, it's like, oh, this is a Sega section, and then the next aisle is like, when you walk further back to the store, this Nintendo section. And since I had this Super Nintendo, I'm like, I play that at home, and then it's like, what's this Sonic thing?
I remember, since I never got a Genesis when I was younger. It wasn't until later I played it. I have one now. But just plugging it in and listening to the music is another one of those things that takes me back. Yeah, the Sega. And then it do the little intro music, and that's what I remember from when I was a kid, because that was all I got when I was a kid. I didn't have the system, so that small little snippet of music in the Sega logo and the little of the demo just running was all I knew of Genesis. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And when I play it now and see it, it does take me back. to being a kid and seeing that in the store because it was mysterious like that. And then yeah, they had other systems like the Jaguar, and well, I remember one year I had, yes, exactly like that, and they had the handhelds. The Game Gear was out because the Game Boy had been out and it was awesome.
I wanted the Game Gear just because you could watch TV on it.
If you got the TV tuner, which was an extra, like I think it was like $100 too,
and you had to have like a grip of batteries.
I don't even know if you could roll with batteries. I think you had to have the AC if you're going to run the TV tuner because it took 6 batteries to run the thing,
which would last for like an hour.
Actually, a funny story was I went to actually get the Turbo Express because it was awesome. It played the games from the console. I didn't even have a TurboGrafx 16. I was like, I wanted to get a Turbo Express. So I think I had gotten my Christmas money and my birthday money because they were pretty close. So I had money saved. I guess that's how it worked. I went to Toys R Us. I'm like, I want to get this. Sold out. They did not have Turbo Expresses. They did have the Lynx. I don't even know if you remember the Lynx, but it was Atari's handheld, and I was like, that was the like, I'm at Toys R Us.
Didn't that come out with
I can't
Pitfall?
remember.
I think, right?
I don't think it was Pitfall or whatever Mines did. It wasn't that one. It was a different game that I can't even remember, but I didn't want to leave empty-handed because I was a kid in a toy store with money. So I was going to be leaving with something because I may never go back there, as a kid. Like I gotta buy something. I may never come back here again. So I bought the Lynx instead because they didn't have the Turbo Express. I got it home, threw in the batteries. Half hour later, my batteries were dead. If it was that. It was that thing, like we say, like, things eat batteries. That ate batteries. So much so that I thought it was broken, actually. I took it back to Toys R Us. I returned it because I'm like, I think this is broken. It just went through 6 batteries in about 30 minutes, kind of thing. So they let me return it, and I bought another one, thinking it was broken. And then that one did the same thing, and I'm like, oh, I get it. It's not a flaw, it's a feature. So that's when I ended up returning it again, and that's when I got the Game Gear, because they never got the Turbo Express in, actually, because it was a hot seller apparently. And why not? It used the games that the actual console used, the TurboGrafx 16 used. It used it in the Turbo Express. So in hindsight, I can see why. It was hard to find then, and I thought, oh, maybe I can get one now. And they're expensive now too. So I don't think they ever got
unless
cheap.
you stumble upon them at a swap meet.
No, it's not
from someone who doesn't know.
Any of those are gone.
If you get it before the swap
the resellers, the resellers and stuff. But I mean, I'm sure it's a possibility. But man, like those, I kind of wanted one. Just to play it, just because I never got my hands on it.
It came with Batman on that one, right?
Oh, which one?
The Lynx.
Nope. I don't think I had Batman on mine.
Paperboy?
No.
Stun Runner?
Maybe, but keep going.
Asteroids, Missile Command?
No, not those. I want to say it was... I'm trying... I think it was a platformer or something, but it was...
Switchblade.
No, I don't even know what that is. It sounds cool.
Shadow of the Beast. I'm just thinking it's...
Yeah, no, yeah. It was... I was just trying to think of it, but I can't even remember what it was. Enough so that I actually just kind of got rid of it because, well, it just kept destroying batteries. And I did give up.
So the Game Gear was better because it lasted an hour.
It did last longer. It still took a lot of batteries, but it did last longer. And I still...
That was 8 batteries, right?
No, it was 6 batteries too. They both took 6 batteries. And I think I only had one game for it because I could afford the Game Gear, and I think it came with Joe Montana football. I didn't even watch football, but I played the hell of that game. I played that thing into the ground. Like I said, I didn't watch football. I knew who Joe Montana was, but it was the only game I had, so that's what I did. I just
You're like, I'm so good at this.
I was so good at it too. and I don't know. I'm not sure if it broke or something, because I remember I had it for the longest time, but I don't think it was working anymore. Maybe I'd lost a piece to like the battery case or something, but I think I got rid of it at some point. I had bought another one from the swap meet, but it didn't work. So I guess I still have to try that. Although I'm not really hurting to get another Game Gear. Like if I saw one for cheap, I'd probably pick it up. I did get a Lynx from the swap meet though, but it only came with California games, which is not a very good game. Oh, I think I figured out what that Lynx game was. I think it was Todd's Adventures in Slime World or something like that.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think it was one of the release games in. Yeah. Oh, I don't even think it was just specific to that. I think it came out on other stuff, but yeah, I think that was a release game. It was, or the game that came with my Lynx anyway, and I was under-impressed by it.
Less than impressed.
Very much so. But now I have a 3DS, and I want to get the new 3DS when it comes out. I heard it has better even motion tracking or head track to help with the 3D experience. Did you hear about that?
No.
It's supposed to have better 3D. Like
right
now, you have to be right in the sweet spot to see 3D.
I heard it had better viewing angles. I didn't know if there was an active.
I think it's an active
tracking
thing. That's how it has better angles.
Huh.
Like it tracks your head movement.
Then that's cool.
I'm pretty sure that's how I've read it does it. Which, yes, it's pretty cool.
Because right now I'm playing with the 3D off for all those intense fighting games, just because you shift it just a little bit and everything's all blurry and you can't tell what you're doing.
I turned it off pretty much until I think something cool is going to happen.
Like a cinematic.
Yes, and then I turn it on, but then a lot of them are in 2D anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. So, or I'll turn it on every so often just to see what it looks like in 3D. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, and then I move my head. I'm like, nope, and then turn it back off again.
Like that's why it's off.
It is exactly why it's off, because just trying to hold in that sweet spot, which I'm not good at. So if you actually want to move your body in any way, you're going to lose it. But I hear the new 3DS, deals with that. Like if they know that it's a problem, and people are probably turning it off. Remember, it was a joke when we were talking about Smash Brothers. Remember, like, so who's playing with the 3D on? Like, that's not going to happen.
Well, that was the thing, like, that I first noticed about any fighting games that came out for the 3DS. You can't play fighting games with a 3D on the 3DS.
You can barely play any games.
I forgot what the first game was. It was like something, whatever, like, say, I don't know, Street Fighter 3D. Let's just say it was that.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
And then it's like, it's in 3D. It's awesome. Yeah, play it. Flip on the 3D, start playing it, try to throw a fireball, and it's like, nope, it's coming off.
If you actually want to play the game.
I just got a regular Street Fighter game now. You can do 3D,
but it's not happening.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I've turned on the 3D maybe once or twice in all the time I've spent playing the game of the Smash Brothers. I played a lot of Smash Brothers, an embarrassing large amount of Smash Brothers. But yeah, I flipped it on just to see what things looked like, and then nope, not gonna fight this way. Because it'll start hurting my head too. It's hard enough to keep track of what's going on.
My TV can do 3D, so if I got a Wii U and Smash Brothers and I flip on the 3D conversion and put on the glasses, then that would be okay.
Yeah, because your TV isn't moving around?
Yeah. And it has a wide viewing angle for 3D.
Right.
And it's a big screen. So I guess
then you just feel
maybe not
weird.
so much for portables.
Well, not this current one, but maybe the new one where it keeps tracking, keeps the 3D even if you move your head a quarter of an inch to any side or up or down.
Say half.
Like, I was going to say half, but I'm like, no, it's a bit much. Half, you might as well just not even look at it. Yeah, hey, a quarter. Maybe you can get away with that. No.
Quarter.
Yeah, that's about it. But yeah, I still like playing it, but yeah. But that's the truth of anything on my 3DS. I really don't play it in 3D. and I have trouble seeing 3D like on movies, but I could tell because it's the way they're doing the 3D on here. I can see the 3D mostly because it's just the kind of increased depth it looks like. So I can see the 3D aspects of it. So that's what I appreciate about it when I turn it on. And I'm like, oh, I can see it. That's pretty cool. It's in 3D and everything. Okay, time to turn it off again so I can actually play the game, whatever it may be.
So for the new movies that are coming out in 3D, your preference is still to watch just non-3D?
Well, it doesn't help that it costs more money even if it's in 3D. Well, I guess people that see movies in 3D complain about the 3D. They actually can see the 3D. I think it seems like everyone complains, I hate 3D. I hate 3D because I can't see it. But if I could see it, I'd like to think I'd be okay with it. I'd be happy with it because it'd be a cool effect. But I wonder for people who can see it that still say 3D is terrible or, stop 3D. Can you see 3D? Like when you watch the movie, does things look like they're flying out at you?
It's not really flying out at you. Like,
is that how that works?
That's more the gimmicky one. Like if you're at Disneyland or watching any of those 3D, 4D movies, whatever, where things are supposed to come out of the screen at you. Like, whoa, look at that.
That's how I imagine all 3D should be.
No, but for some of the other ones, like any of the new superhero ones, for example, they come out in 3D. It has more of a diorama effect, so it kind of pushes the background further back and then creates that extra layer of depth.
Right, I think.
But it doesn't push
Avatar
anything out
was like
towards
that.
you. Yeah.
It's supposed to be a good example of
good
3D.
You saw that 3D?
No, I saw it in 2D. I saw it just for the story. I saw it way after it had been out in theaters. Actually, I was probably the last person on Earth to watch it for the first time. That's only because
I still haven't seen it.
Well, there you go. See, you still have to
I got
see
you
it.
beat.
But you at least have a 3D TV. When I saw it, we didn't have a 3D TV. But Carrie's like, you should watch it. So I finally got around to watching it, and it's a good movie on its own. It doesn't need the 3D, but everything I'd heard is like, oh, the 3D is amazing in this. This is how 3D should be. Is a lot of what I
So they're
heard.
making a trilogy out of it.
Okay, I guess the movie was good. I guess
Is it doable?
I'm not a super fan of it. Like, I could not watch it again and be fine. And I watched it. I'm happy I saw it the one time, but I'm more of a okay. I don't even remember how it ends, to be honest. So I'm not the best fan. I worked with someone who was a really big fan of Avatar, probably his favorite movie. So he would probably say, yes, definitely make more. And I don't have anything against it because
And then go to Avatar Land in Walt Disney World whenever they open that.
Whenever they open that, yeah. But yeah, for 3D movies, I think they should all be kind of like things coming out at you because that's what I would assume.
Despicable Me 2 was like that.
Well,
Like they had all the gimmicky stuff.
Yeah, that's why I mean, like I said on the 3DS, I could see the 3D, which is kind of like that one where you're saying it's like more like atmospheric 3D. It pulls things away from the back or pushes the background further, separates the stuff, kind of like where you can see the spaces in between, makes things, I guess, distant and stuff.
Yeah,
that's the I could see that on the 3DS, which I guess is something they do. Is that good, or is that's what movies tend to do as 3D?
That's from what I've seen. That's the tendency.
Is to
the majority of them tend to just kind of give you the extra depth perception.
That's kind of lame, I guess.
Some of the other ones actually do use it effectively. Like I don't know if you saw. I think you did. Did you see that? Well, it was
you haven't said the movie yet.
It was a Disney short that played in front of the.
Oh, you're
the main
talking
feature,
about
the Get a Horse.
Yes,
and that's where. It starts off as a black and white flat movie. Then he pops out of the screen onto the stage, and that's where 3D would be really helpful. Except I saw that part in 2D because I wasn't expecting that. It's like, well, should have seen it in 3D first, but whatever. And then that would have added to the illusion. So that's where I would say it'd be used effectively.
Yeah. Well, because when you said cheesy, I was thinking about like Jaws 3D, where they intentionally...
Like Back to the Future?
Even then, it's just like Well,
Like he
I'm
comes
like
out of
talking
the billboard and
super. Well, yeah, it's kind of like that, but like the one where they're poking things at the screen specifically because it's in 3D. Like, I think they're Friday the 13th, the 3D. I think it might be the third one in 3D, but it's they have things like that's how I always imagined the 3D should be, just super cheesy, just things coming out of the screen
Watch
like, wow, look at
out.
that kind of thing.
You got a duck.
I think that'd be like entertaining,
like
and
Terminator 4D kind of stuff coming out at
yes.
you with the
Which
liquid
no
metal
longer
thing.
exists.
Yeah.
But yes, that I didn't see it in that one. But I mean, I guess that's what happened. You could see the arm come out and like slash at the audience, kind of thing.
Watch out.
Everyone's like, "Whoa!" and I'm like, "I don't get it. Why are you dodging?"
Maybe it's a type of 3D because I
Maybe.
think that one was using polarized glasses, and some of the 3D that, at least for some of the ones that we saw, I think they were colors. So they had the orange and the green filtered glasses, so it's not as harsh as red and blue, but it's supposed to give you that effect too.
Well, I guess, but also it's like you're saying, they don't. A lot of movies don't do that kind of gimmicky 3D. They tend to do more classy 3D,
Classy.
which takes more money from me. Classy, like, oh, that was the 3D. I would have been okay not paying for it, which is why I usually tend not to. I try to go to the 2D showing, which is fewer and far between. It seems like there's like tons of 3D showings and a few 2D showings. Like, no one's going to want to see it in 2D, even though the way everyone complains, I think everybody would like to see it in 2D by the sounds of it.
Well, I don't think it's something that's going to go away, especially with all these movies coming out.
Well, a lot of them even just do 3D conversions. They don't even shoot in 3D, so they're just like cheating. Like, okay, we made this film, make it into 3D. We had no intention of it being in 3D. We didn't film for it to be in 3D. So, but yeah, you're right. Like future movies, they ain't gonna,
Like, especially all the superhero ones. That's like the big ticket item right now.
those super movies. Yeah, those are definitely gonna be in 3D.
Did you see the timeline for it?
I did see.
I think we talked about it a little bit last time.
Yeah, but refresh my memory.
Okay, so this year it's the Disney Marvel team up for Big Hero 6.
Is that a team up or is that
Or mashup, or well, they own it, and then they kind of Disney-fied.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
because
it was the Marvel's technically
comic, yeah.
Marvel's comic, and then okay,
they gave it the Disney treatment.
Yeah, I'm with you now. I get it.
So there's that,
which I'm super hyped about. And
that's going to be in 3D as well.
Not a surprise.
That's
it is
when
animated,
Corey said that he saw it Tomorrowland. He's like, "You see the trailer? You want to see the movie?" It's like, "Okay, I want to see it." And then
I saw the
you see it at
teaser.
Tomorrowland, and you're like, "Okay, I'm sold. Shut up and take my money."
They had it was Guardians of the Galaxy-esque in that way, because I think everything I've seen with it, even the first small thing, made me want to see it. The Big Hero 6, and everything other than that has been gravy, and just made me want to watch it more. If that's even possible. I already really wanted to see it, but I'm looking forward to that one. I haven't seen the trailer or the special trailer. Should take time. I didn't get to see the Guardians of the Galaxy one either. Shame on me. But maybe
that's pretty good.
Yeah, you saw it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should try to take some time and actually head down to Disneyland one of these days. Hey, upgrade my pass.
Well, it opens November 7th, so you gotta catch it probably within a week or two of that, before and after.
Okay.
And that's the only thing coming out for this year, because everything else is pretty much already done. Then 2015 starts off with Avengers Age of Ultron.
Now, by start off, you mean that doesn't show up in May or something?
May 1st. The trailer leaked today.
Right.
And it is a crazy trailer.
I do wonder if... I'm starting to wonder about these leaks kind of thing.
Quote-unquote leaks. Well, it came out on the Marvel Twitter page. The first thing, I guess it leaked, and then they said...
Because it was an accident.
Quote-unquote accident.
Like, everyone likes it better if they think they're getting something that no one expected.
And then the tweet came out saying, "Damn it, Hydra." Damn it, Hydra. And then like, fine, okay, here it is. This is what we have. And they released the trailer, the teaser trailer. And it's pretty short. It's only like 2 minutes long.
I don't know if that's short. I think it's long for a teaser.
Well, they got a lot of stuff, and it's kind of more building up
almost
like the ominous music and stuff.
Yeah, but it feels more like it's a teaser in the way that it doesn't really explain anything. It's kind of like
but a lot of eye candy.
But it doesn't.
I'm gonna show you something beautiful.
It's a trailer.
I don't know who's the voice of Ultron.
I think it's James Spader.
Okay.
For mercy.
He doesn't. Like, it seems like just like a trailer. Like, it's a teaser. Like, I think I saw a teaser trailer for Batman Superman where it literally is just maybe 30 seconds long. Neither of them says anything. That seemed like a teaser. This seems like a trailer.
That means
almost.
when the official trailer comes out, it's going to be way more awesome than this.
Well, I mean, this one barely is kind of incoherent, sort of. Like, bad things are happening. There's Ultron and stuff. And even that by itself is awesome. Like, that made me want to watch it. Although I already wanted to watch it.
I'm already sold.
Yeah, I was sold before the teaser. Yeah, I was sold before.
Sold even more now.
Like I said, all gravy. This one, whatever the trailers they come out with, I'm going to watch them, and I can't possibly give them my money any quicker. So I'm just going to be like, please continue to taking my money.
To travel to the future, watch the movies, and then come back and be like, that was awesome.
This trailer is totally real. It tells me everything.
Yeah, but you see Ultron in damaged form, in like his full badass form. You see Iron Man, the Hulkbuster.
That's not. Now that might not be Iron Man, right?
No, it is.
Is it Iron Man or is it Ultron? Because you see Ultron in the suit, like controlling the suit in an earlier scene.
It was the thing going over. I thought it was Iron Man.
The only reason I thought it could be Ultron is because in the scene earlier in the trailer teaser, like, you see Ultron talking through the Iron Man suit, like he's controlling the suit, like a puppet, basically. Because Tony Stark's standing looking at him, and Ultron's in the suit. Although he looks all weird because his eyes are like the Ultron thing. So it probably is Tony Stark in the Hulkbuster suit. But I just like, when I first saw it, I was from that scene earlier. I'm like, oh, maybe it's Ultron trying to fight the Hulk. But you're probably right. It's probably Tony Stark. Of course, then you're wondering what leads up to that. Maybe he just got angry or something. The Hulk. Anyway.
Yeah, because Tony Stark was supposed to be the one who built Ultron to help out the Avengers.
In the movie, he is. Because they wrote that for the movies. Because I think in the original books, it's Hank Pym, I think. I'm just guessing here, but I think it's Hank Pym. But they haven't introduced him yet because he's in Ant-Man. So I remember when they were talking about that Age of Ultron was going to be the next one, and then Ant-Man was coming in after that. People were like, that doesn't make any sense because you haven't introduced...
Yeah, because it is Iron Man in there. Well, at least
you see his
Iron
helmet.
Man armor.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you don't have to have Tony Stark in the suit for the suit to be...
Right, because he made the remote control.
Right. But, I mean, he's probably him. I mean, I'm just speculating, it could be something else. But the easiest, simplest solution is probably him, and there's some reason he's fighting the Hulk. Kind of thing. You're probably right. I forgot what I was talking about now. Oh, yeah. Originally, I guess Hank Pym creates Ultron, but he's in Ant-Man, and Ant-Man isn't coming out till after this movie, so it didn't make any sense. I think people were like, well, that you don't have the character yet. So they have it written that Tony Stark creates Ultron.
Right.
Which is fine. I think people were already speculating that was probably what they're going to do. And I trust Marvel to do whatever they want to do, actually, so I'm good with that. And plus, since I wasn't dedicated to it, I bought the book.
Especially with this calendar that I have right here, that details everything out to 2020 and beyond.
Right.
They've got their stuff down already. They know where they're going.
Well, that they do have a plan, but I wonder what happens. I mean, I don't foresee it happening, but if one of them actually does manage to bomb, I don't see it coming. I don't see it happening, but you know what?
Really don't think so, because they're so tight-knit.
True, but I mean, look, if you look at that, look how many movies that is. Like, that's a lot of movies with comic book superheroes.
Well, this is a combination of everything.
That's what
like
I mean. I'm
Marvel
more
and
talking
DC
about
and-
the bubble of
Oh,
superhero movies. Like, what if eventually people are like, just because for a
Grow
while we
tired
didn't have,
of it.
yeah, they could just grow tired of it. I mean, looking at that, that's definitely a condensed view of it. It's
Yeah.
obviously
Well, I think-
much time between.
Marvel is okay because at least if you treat it as a separate entity, like you're like, oh well, that's DC, this is Marvel, and
Well, we
Marvel
will.
would kind of have that the cachet behind the name, like Pixar had. It's like, oh, Pixar can't do any wrong, so like any movie that comes out that says Pixar, I want to see it. And then
True, but Pixar movies, but I think like we differentiate, and there's a good amount of people that probably do that. DC, Marvel, and then there's other people that see superhero movie, DC, Marvel, whatever. I can't tell the difference. Is what they're thinking. They're just like, yeah, superhero movie.
like the people who are like, oh, Despicable Me, it's Disney. It's like, no, it's Universal.
They don't
Or
care.
like,
They just want to see the movie.
Shrek, that's Disney. It's like, no, that's DreamWorks.
Exactly. You got those cross-purpose ones. That
It's like, are you sure it's computer animated? I thought all the computer anime stuff was Disney Pixar, right? It's like, no.
and same thing for these movies is they'll just get, for those people anyways, they'll get lumped together into superheroes, and
Yeah.
it could easily like just be oversaturating. Because like I said, I don't believe this is going to happen. Because plus, it wouldn't be oversaturated for me because I'm looking forward to all the movies. But it is a possibility because at least not next year, but the year after that is when it really picks up steam because that's when DC really gets in. But I'm getting ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this next year, the first 2015, the first one is Avengers.
Avengers
2.
Age of Ultron, May 1st.
Right.
And then what you're saying about Hank Pym, Ant-Man, that actually comes
Post
out after.
After, so
that's on July 17th of 2015.
So yeah, it's going to be separated, which is one of those ones. That one I'm wondering. I don't have any connection. I don't know anything about Ant-Man really, and
I think
kind of
that
like
works
Guardians.
its way into Avengers 3.
Probably, I wouldn't doubt it. They're always building to the next thing, so I wouldn't doubt that it's starting to rebuild the next thing. But I'm wondering, as a character that most people don't know about. He's not a major character. He is a major character, but only if you read the comics. Like, you've probably never heard of him unless you've read the comics. But Guardians, I no idea who they were. Great movie. So I'm thinking it has a possibility of being great, but I've never heard of it. So maybe after I see the first teaser or trailer or whatever, then I'll be sold. Like Guardians, I saw the trailer.
Instead of the picture of just a guy in a hoodie.
That was
But San
weird.
Francisco
Like,
Golden Gate Bridge.
who was it? I forgot who it was, but who was playing Ant-Man? It's just him standing in a hoodie, in front of a bridge, and like, which part of this is Ant-Man, or which part of this is just some guy with the camera taking a picture, kind of thing? But there's a lot of time between now and then, and hopefully we'll see a trailer sooner than. Well, actually, no, sorry, they're going to be doing the trailers for Avengers 2 coming up. So wait, when is Ant-Man you said coming out?
July 17th.
So it's only 2 months after Avengers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty quick.
Really, really quick.
Of course, there's a big gap between Big Hero 5. Wait, no.
Paul Rudd.
Oh, Paul Rudd, yes. Wait, I was trying to think of how big a gap is between Big Hero 5 and Avengers 2.
Big Hero 6. Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6, sorry. Big Hero 6 and Avengers 2.
From November to May.
So there's a kind of big gap there.
5 months.
Yeah, and then you have the tiny gap between those two movies, which Avengers is going to be a big deal.
Well, Big Hero 6 is being released under the Disney
Right.
Disney
As a
badge.
Disney, yeah.
but Avengers and Ant-Man are under the Marvel badge. And then
What's after that?
Fantastic Four.
Really?
By
I thought they got
Fox.
let go. Or they got...
It's a reboot.
Right, no, not that one. But I heard it got pushed out of its slot. When's that one coming out?
August 7th.
Okay, I was thinking about. Because I'd heard of Fantastic Four got pushed out. Or they put it on indefinite hiatus or something. because they were going to be focusing on the Deadpool movie, actually, that they were doing later on.
And that's in 2016 on February 12th, also by Fox.
I heard those rumors at the same time, but I don't know if they're connected. So
yeah,
because I haven't heard anything about I heard that the Fantastic Four had been put on timeout.
They have it planned as a 2-parter. There's going to be Fantastic Four 1 and then Fantastic Four 2 the following year.
And Marvel is canceling that comic. Actually, I'd heard they're stopping the Fantastic Four, one of their oldest comics, well, team up comics, anyways.
Oh, okay.
They're actually stopping it. Some say to like spite Fox, because Fox has the rights to the movies, and some say it was just not selling very well. Anyways, it was a poor selling comic, but others are saying it's kind of has its value just as it's been around since like Marvel, one of Marvel's earliest teams. You can't get rid of it, but they are. So whoever you choose to believe, maybe there's just spiting Fox. Like, screw you guys. We're not giving you the comic or letting people read the comics anymore. But I'd heard that they'd put the movie with the new cast, the reboot, on hiatus.
That's what I thought.
But I mean, it's on there, so maybe it's still up. So I mean, I actually didn't see the last Fantastic Four movie. It was kind of before the really big boom. Well, I was gonna say big boom of superhero movies, but X-Men was doing well, so
yeah. But
I think it was just
the first one did well, and then the two that followed after was like kind of.
It's okay. We retconned it. Now none of that happened, so now everything's hunky dory again. We can act like it never happened
and sell you on this new trilogy that we're gonna.
There you go. Okay, sorry. So Fantastic Four, August.
And then Deadpool in February of 2016.
Now, 2016.
That's the year.
That's going to be the year. Well, I love Deadpool. Probably my favorite character.
So that kicks off 2016.
And that kicks off 2016. I'm really looking forward to that movie, but as much as I like Deadpool as a character, he definitely works in small doses. I think. Or it seems like that. So I'm curious how the movie will go. The test footage was awesome. I could watch it over and over again. Heck, I'll probably watch it again now we've talked about it. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a nice kickoff to 2016.
And then a month later, that's followed up by Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the one that everyone's been
DC's
hyping.
Finally their first step. Because they've relinquished 2014. 2015, and then in 2016 they're finally going to really try to put it all together.
And that's the one where they kept pushing the date out, pushing it out, which is why it went so far out, because they were going to release it earlier, and then somebody said we got to compete with Marvel and make a universe out of it, an interconnected movie universe.
Well, they said we got to compete with Marvel, yet we are not putting out movies for 2 years. But we're going to compete with Marvel after they've had even 2 more years of kicking our butt.
So they can get their stuff together.
Yeah, so they can get their stuff together. So I can understand, but it better be a really good, really, really good movie. Because if you're going to wait that long to start, finally kick it off, and if it kicks out with a dud, especially with your 2 biggest heroes. If you can't make a good, I would say good hero with Superman, or a good movie with Superman, but that's possible. People didn't care for Superman Returns that much. It was okay, but and Man of Steel also conflicted. Better movie, I'd say.
It's kind of cool because this is like the Frank Miller version of Batman.
The Batman part, but then...
And they're bringing up all the stuff, like the Bat Tank and all that, and then they're even bringing in Girl Robin.
Right. But this is supposed to be Superman 2.
It's Batman.
Batman got his trilogy.
Have you seen the logo? Batman's logo is bigger than Superman's.
I know everything about it. If you were a Superman fan, I mean, sure, you're looking forward to Superman-ish movie, but this was supposed to be Superman 2, not Batman featuring Superman.
It's deal with it, farm boy.
It's kind of like that. They're using Batman to make sure it's this movie's got to work. Throw some Batman in there. People like Batman, and it's true. unless it's Batman and Robin. But then you had the Nolan movies, which were great, but standalone. So they do you no good technically in the long run, and you have to redo Batman again after doing him again. So you got Batfleck now, which is starting to look good. Like, I remember when they first announced it, laughing stock of the internet, and mostly hate, actually, to be honest.
With that accent. Batman's going to have a Boston accent?
Yes.
Hey, Robin. Wait, no,
was that your Boston accent?
That sounded way more Australian.
I was like, it's a little far more down under.
Too far.
Too far down under. But, yeah. That's one of the, like, it's funny, too.
I can't do that.
No, because now you're just thinking Australia.
Australian Batman.
You're just going to do just something about a koala or something.
Oi.
But no one liked him. And I was one of the people who thought, well, Heath Ledger, and, you know, I was trying to think of, who's the first Batman in the movie anyway?
Michael Keaton.
Thank you. I was blanking out there. But Michael Keaton, at the time, he was just doing comedies anyway, so pretty far from what you'd think Batman. Although that was also when they rebooted Batman as the darker Batman, because before that it was
the Tim Burton Batman.
That was a Tim Burton,
and then before that was the
Adam West one, where it was campy Batman. So they used basically a comedic actor to reboot a dark version of Batman, which compared to the Nolan one is really bright and sunny, actually. Because Nolan's like, I could go darker than that. I can make him dark Knight.
I'll go full dark.
I'll go full dark. You'll see this coming, kind of thing. So, I mean, that worked. I mean, the original Batman movie, the Tim Burton one, good stuff. So, and Ben Affleck has kind of come along, actually, as an actor. So
he's got that bat chin.
He's got bat chin. He's got good bat chin. And so I'm willing to give him a chance, especially after the whole thing with Heath Ledger, where it's just like, he can't play Joker. We've already had the great Joker, and we've had in the animated series, we had Mark Hamill voicing the Joker. We had Jack Nicholson playing the Joker in the first one, who made it his own version, at least for the live action ones. You can't. There's nowhere to go with the Joker. He's already been done and great in so many ways. And then he does his Joker, and it's great in its own way.
Full dark.
Full dark. He goes full dark. So with that, I think, why not give Ben Affleck a chance at it? Might as well. Got Sebastian, and make him gritty and stuff, and it could work. Although, like I said, now you're throwing Batman into the Superman movie to save, I assume, all of DC.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, I guess it is their first one out of the gate, and it should be big. I don't see why it isn't. You've got your two biggest stars.
Yeah. Well, it was smart of Warner Brothers to budge on the release date, because they originally had a May 6th release date, and then Marvel came out, dropped Captain America on the same day. And they're like, no, we're not budging. And
I thought Captain America was their first, and they shifted over to on top of it. I can't remember exactly, but I thought they shifted onto it. Or did
Marvel purposely dropped the release date for Captain America 3 on the same day that they're releasing Batman v Superman?
Oh, okay. I thought it was the other way
And then Warner
around.
Brothers are like, no. It's like, we had this day first. We're not moving. You got to move. And then Disney's like, nope, we're just going to sit here and enjoy the money that's going to come into our movie.
Well, because then it's Batman, Superman versus Captain America. And if you can't win that version of things where you're using your two biggest versus...
So, yeah, they're worried enough. They didn't have enough confidence in their movie, so they bumped it back to March 25th, which gives them pretty much... I think it'll do well because it's uncontested in that time now. Like, there's nothing to go
when
up.
is it coming out?
March 25th, 2016.
Okay.
So there's no other ones coming out around there near it. And Captain America 3 is still holding on May 6th on that date.
Especially, did they do that before Cap 2 came out? Or after Cap 2 came out, when they started the head-to-head thing? Because, I mean, I can understand it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I could see why they'd been, because Cap 2, that Winter Soldier was amazing movie. by the sounds of what they're building for Cap 3, now this didn't have to affect that because they didn't know yet, but it's shaping up to be a really good one. But
it's the start of the Civil War arc.
I was going to save that till we got to that. Where are we at now? Batman. Oh, we're still on Batman Superman, but
Yeah.
I hope that it's good because that's going to be their first step. And like I keep saying, every time I see another Marvel movie that's just awesome, like, okay, let's go see the DC movie now. Oh, wait. I have to wait a year and change to go see it. I guess I'll just wait for the next Marvel movie and be impressed again. Maybe I'll just get tired of Marvel movies because I'll just get tired of them being awesome or something. And then DC will have their comeuppance, or Marvel will have their comeuppance because DC is going to come in and really take it. I don't know. I hope so, but I hope it's competitive so we just keep seeing good movies. Like, oh, DC's, they're bringing their A game now. We have to, I'd say, step it up, but they only have themselves to beat now. Marvel does anyway. They've just set the bar high, and then they set it higher every time. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, probably one of my favorite movies by Marvel, but then Avengers 2 is coming out, so that's probably going to be even more awesome.
And then Guardians of the Galaxy 2 has also been announced to come out too. That's going to just keep pushing that bar up higher.
Raising their own bar. Eventually they're going to, I assume, fall under it, but
it's like The Walking Dead. It's like, how can this season be any better than last season? And it just happens.
That's what I heard, yeah. I haven't watched it, but I mean, I've been meaning to.
Yeah.
Well,
Captain America 3, May 6th,
that's
2016.
after, so
that
okay.
comes right after Batman v Superman.
So hopefully people will still be talking about Batman v Superman. That's kind of a long time to actually be hoping for that. So no. Yeah, Captain America.
It's just
3.
a little over a month between those two movies
in
terms of release date, which any hype, I'm pretty sure it'll be short-lived because, like you were saying, the story behind Captain America 3 is the start of the Civil War arc, where it's like Superhero Registration Act and Tony Stark's taking one side and he's kind of portrayed as a villain.
He's pretty villainy in the comic books.
Yeah.
So it'll be, and it is kind of ballsy to like turn one of your biggest draws as a superhero into a villain, or at least villainous type. So, but I don't think it's going to be a 1-to-1 with the comic book because none of their stuff's been 1-to-1.
No.
Like Age of Ultron, it's been completely
inspired
changed.
by.
Exactly. I have the comic book. I've been meaning to read it, but in reading it, I'm pretty sure it's like, well, this is not going to happen in the movie, so that's kind of pointless. But I'm looking forward to it anyway. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, because there's people like, I think people are kind of split on Civil War, whether it was a good
Would it be
series.
safe to say that you're taking the Walking Dead approach with the TV series and the comics, where they're letting the comics do their own thing, the TV series, or, well, in this case, the movies are doing their own thing, and they're intersecting every so often with the comics, using it more as an inspiration and guideline?
Well, the thing about it is, well, maybe, actually. It could be. Well, because
And the more
it's almost like the movies are more intersecting with the TV show, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
yeah,
than the comics. They like, it's like you said, it's almost inspired by the comics, but they've already kind of gone and done their own thing. So,
which Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is really good. Like, I don't know if you've been keeping up with it, but
well, you finally said you binge
I'm all
watched
caught up.
it.
I just saw.
But like I was watching it back when it was season 1 and a difficult watch for a weekly show. Like now you've caught up to the good parts where it's really gotten much stronger ever since, I think, the crossover with Captain America, or even actually they had a little bit with Thor, but it was really almost really subtle because they were cleaning up after the movie.
Yeah.
They were the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
So it's played as a joke as opposed to a tie-in. Although there is that episode with Lady Sif, spoilers I guess, but I mean they kind of advertised it in the commercial that she was going to be there. And then they had the one that ties in with Captain America with all the Hydra stuff, spoiler. But basically all the fallout from Captain America 2 falls out in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it's a nice continuation of that, which I think everyone wanted to see. Like when they announced Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. originally, they're like, okay, I can get my Marvel cinematic fix on a weekly basis in the comfort of my own home. But in the beginning, they just did their own thing. They almost seemed like in the beginning they weren't even going to really totally acknowledge so much other than Coulson being there.
Yeah. But it's building up a fan base now where it seems like you're kind of building up and at the same time containing the hype. And the fans are basically saying, I can't wait to see how they're going to work this into the movie. Or if you're watching a movie, going, I can't wait to see how they're going to work this into the TV show.
Oh, yeah, now, because, like, it started strong with fans anyways, because it just had the cinematic hype, and they were coming out with shows, so there you had a ton of fans there, and then it weaned them all off as it kind of was finding its legs, which it took a while to find its legs, I think. And then now that it has found its leg, it's getting back those fans and gaining more fans, and I think it ought to be interesting when, I guess, the next Marvel movie comes out, but that's not until March with Avengers 2, because the Big Hero 6 is not Marvel. It's under the kind of Disney wing, like you said. Yeah. So I guess you're not going to see your next real tie-in between the TV and the movies until then. But it could be very interesting since it's leading up to Avengers 2. You could see some interesting things, and it's interesting that you could use the TV show as hype, even more hype for the movie. Because you start throwing stuff in. It's like, oh, that was mentioned in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then talk about it when you go see the movie events from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, they could be getting something or procuring stuff that works in that works in Avengers too. Because I don't want to spoil the storyline that's going on now with Agents, but I guess when would this season technically end? Would it end next year or?
I'm not sure.
Or this year? Probably this year. It'll probably end. I don't know the schedule. So
it just started again though. This is episode 4, I think, for this season.
Okay, because I mean, it would be cool if it did roll right up to it, or maybe if you had the season finale, and then you had Avengers 2 come out. Or something like that, where it just rolled right into it, or had elements of it or something. I don't know. But it is ripe with opportunity, having those two. Where it makes me think of DC, where that's not... They are keeping them separated, actually, from what I've heard. Their TV and their movies are separated.
Yeah.
They're like two different universes.
It doesn't seem like it can tie in as cleanly as S.H.I.E.L.D. and the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I don't know why it couldn't. Why couldn't it? We don't have an established universe yet for the movies.
I guess maybe they have a problem with the casting of the actors. It's not really who they envisioned to have for
the casting of actors
for movies. Because like when they had Tom Welling as Clark Kent / Superman.
Are you talking about from
Smallville? Yeah.
Right.
When he finally did, spoilers, finally did don the suit and fly at the very last episode, he wasn't really that much of a Superman. He didn't really look the part, but he played a really good Clark Kent with superpowers, but as a straight out Superman, like the iconic Superman, you didn't really see him that way.
Right. But then that, like, wasn't Smallville going on for like 7 years or something like that?
More than that. I think it was
more
like
than
10,
that. And this is way before they envisioned the next Superman movie. Like, some Returns didn't come out. Did it come out during that time or after, at the end of it? Like, it doesn't seem like they had foreseen this bumping up against that, whereas Arrow only came out, 2 years ago? 3 years ago now? 2 seasons ago? Something like that. Yeah. But basically, Marvel's already been at work building their universe. So, DC, I wouldn't think it'd take too much foresight. It's like, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came out, I guess, after, because it's only got 2 seasons. It's only in the second season, I believe, now. So, Arrow came out, I guess, before that then? But either way, Marvel was already building their universe, so DC should have been able to, I'd assume, would have seen, like, hey, we could turn this show make it part of the universe. Why not? Because Marvel's already kind of doing something like that. Why don't we just start with the TV one? So, whereas Smallville, it was like way far out from the movies. It wasn't like Smallville season 1, then season 2, we have Superman Returns. And like, well, it's connected that way. These ones, like, the series is kind of, well, not fresh, but still kind of going on, where you could have a green, I don't know, they don't have a Green Arrow for their...
Smallville?
No, for the DC, the current DC movies.
Not...
And he's not in
listed
Justice
in
League
here.
or anything like that. But they do have a Flash later on.
Yeah.
And they just came out with the Flash movie, so it seems like one hand does not know what the other hand is doing. Like, why would you... Because I think they cast the Flash, the movie Flash now, too, maybe.
Yeah.
It's someone different than it's in the Flash series. And they just started the Flash series. So you could have easily gone, okay, let's find somebody who could fit in both. I mean, it's under your control, unless you are literally separating both sides and like neither side is going to connect. I guess that's one way to go, but then why do that? It's almost like it reminds me of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. Yeah, we're going to make Batman movies, but they're going to be outside of any storyline, so we can't build on them. They're great movies, but then they stop, and then now we have to start over from scratch again. And you're like, how are you going to build a universe if you keep having to like create stopping points like that? Why not just like make your Flash connected and your Green Arrow connected and make an actual universe that people can connect with on a basis where when your movies aren't out, they can watch your TV shows and still feel connected to your universe, instead of like, well, this is completely outside. Although it seems like they're changing the it seems like if they are doing them separately, then I don't know. I was trying to think of why they would be doing it separately, but it
Yeah, they cast Ezra Miller as the Flash for the cinematic.
Now, I haven't seen the
Flash.
Flash TV show, so I don't know.
You've seen the trailers? And
No, I've been kind of avoiding because I've been actually trying to catch up on Arrow, which has a spin-off into Flash before. So I want to catch up with Arrow, then jump into Flash. So who knows when I'll actually catch up. We're trying to watch like as much as possible when we had a chance. So, but I mean, you just cast the Flash, the TV show one. So why not go, hey, let's get somebody to do who can act in both of them? Unless, like I said, it's too... I'm not sure, but maybe Warner has a separate TV wing and a separate movie wing that do not speak to each other.
I think that's what it is.
And that's... what? Why would you even do that when... Like, we're trying to build a universe, yet we will not have these communicate.
Pretty sure it's last minute on Warner Brothers' part.
Is it last minute? Because they are taking the long view here. Like, they're not even starting their movies until way out
they
there.
didn't really come up with this plan until fairly recently. Like, getting the whole thing and kind of copying the Marvel formula. Like, it was going to be the Superman movie, and they're going to kind of introduce Batman into it, and then it became reversed, and then Batman's movie.
Oh, yeah, that part, you're right.
And then
they
turned
did
Superman,
speed
and
it up.
They're like, oh, we're going to put Wonder Woman in, we're going to put in, like...
And then they went on steroids.
The rest of the Justice League, and then, you know what, we're going to spin off and do a Justice League, and they kind of, from there, went out into this whole timeline that...
Yeah, you're right. Definitely sounds like they're really making it up as they kind of go along to try to catch up, but not in a long view kind of way. Like they have the movies
not
that
as
they're
cohesive as Marvel.
Right. They're like, okay, let's come out with all these movies. Let's greenlight all these movies now because people like superhero movies as opposed to
Green Lantern. These movies.
Let's connect these movies together into a cohesive universe that we could build upon. I've heard some people say that. I guess they're going to consider the Flash and the Green Arrow, or Arrow in this case, as alternate universes, basically. Like kind of like an Earth 2, Earth 1 kind of thing, because DC does that. So they exist technically in the same multi-universe, in the multiverse, but they're not in the same universe. So,
Marvel shall not escape my sight. Let those who worship Marvel's / Disney's might beware the power that is DC's light.
That seems like a bold statement. Seeing as they don't have really anything. Oh, sorry. Take that back. Superman, Man of Steel. When did that come out? Last year? This year?
No.
I can't even remember. How sad is that? It's just like, that's their big movie, and it's like been totally buried. Was it last year? It must have been last year, actually.
Yeah, June 14, 2013.
So June.
Mid-June 20 of last year, yeah.
And then the next movie is 2016.
March. End of March.
Huh. They couldn't pull together anything in a how many year gap is that? What is it? 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 16. 3-year gap roughly. Couldn't pull a movie out from there.
Yeah, almost 3 years, but yeah.
So that would mean technically Batman v Superman is 3 years in the making.
Yes.
It's 3 years worth of good movie. Like, the movie's so good, it took us 3 years to do it. Because we couldn't do it any faster. This is it. This is how long it takes us to make it, to kickstart it. And it has and it seems like it just has a lot riding on it. Like, this is it. This is the one. Like, you got to get this one right. Like, you can't half it. Like I said, Man of Steel kind of split people down the middle, mostly with the ending, but there's other nitpicks and things.
Yeah, because if this doesn't do well, since they have their plan till basically releasing 2 movies every year until through 2020, I don't know how that's gonna bode for the rest of those movies.
Well, even then, because you're using your 2 biggest heroes, or 2 of your biggest heroes. I mean, Wonder Woman's really big, even though they don't use it that often. But she's part of the Trinity.
She won't spin off till the next year.
But like, you're using technically two of your biggest heroes of your franchise in one movie, and if it fails, and why would anyone have faith that your other characters who aren't your A-listers,
like, I'll just stick with Marvel,
are going to be good? And then right after that, Captain America comes out. And if or when that kicks so much ass, it's gonna just drive out. So if Batman v Superman is really good, at the very least it'll like butt up against Captain America, and they'll be like, you'll be writing that euphoria of, yeah, that was a good movie, until Captain America comes out. Then it'll hand it off, and then you'll be happy about Captain America. Or it'll just, if it sucks, it'll just like fade away, and then Captain America will just wash over it, and then it'll be like, wow, what was, I can't remember what happened in that Batman v Superman movie, because Captain America was so good, it kind of just
not important.
Yeah, it's not important, because Captain America is so good that it won't even stand out. So I mean,
it's funny too, because Fox is still trying to hang in there, because right after Captain America releases, I think 3 weeks later, May 27th, X-Men Apocalypse comes out.
Well, you say hang in there, but that is the one. I mean, they don't have much to go with other than X-Men and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Sony.
Oh, sorry. Fantastic Four? Is that Fox?
Sony, Columbia. Huh? Which?
So all they have is X-Men.
Yeah. Fantastic Four and X-Men.
Which Fantastic...
And Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool. Okay,
Deadpool.
They're good. They'll be fine. Well, now that they finally got their heads out of their collective butts.
And then July 8th is Doctor Strange from Marvel.
Interesting.
August 5th, 2016 is Suicide Squad from Warner Brothers.
It's going to be a big year.
And then November 11th, Sinister Six from Sony. Then now we're into 2017.
Well, 2016, just to note, that's... Yeah. I mean, 2015's kind of light, but maybe it's almost like they're they're priming their weapons to like fire them all.
That's gonna be Age of Ultron. Is gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be awesome. It's the only one, so you're gonna have to kind of ride that one.
And Ant-Man.
Huh?
And Ant-Man.
And Ant-Man, but they were kind of close together, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to ride those out because you ain't getting any DC, and you're well. I see you're only getting 2 Marvel, but you're getting 2 Marvel, so nothing to complain about. So, but it's still light on movies compared to 2016, where it's just like, well, here you go, the war has begun. Let's see where the chips fall. So I'm really looking. I mean, I'm looking forward to those 2 movies in 15, but 2 or 3, 2 movies in 15.
Yeah.
But 16, whew, that's gonna be take my money year. There'll be a lot of them.
7 movies between
Wow,
Warner Brothers, Fox, Marvel, and Sony.
and it's pretty crowded. Looking forward to that year. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
2017's just as loaded. Well, even more.
Hmm.
They have 10 movies coming up, like comic book movies. Starting off March 3rd, Wolverine 3 from Fox.
Okay.
And then probably, yeah. Then an unknown Marvel movie is announced for May 5th.
That doesn't count. But okay, I'll take it.
Be
But
surprised. It's Marvel, that's all you need to know.
true, but is it wild card or is it we actually just don't know?
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
It hasn't
Yeah,
been
yeah.
confirmed. Rumors, but
okay.
no
Okay.
confirmation. And then June 23rd is the Wonder Woman movie.
Finally.
Standalone movie. July 14th is a Fantastic Four Part 2, number 2.
Right. So making sure that part 1 goes on.
And the big summer blockbuster is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 2 on July 28th. Guardians 2.
Yeah, it's weird though. I trust it, but I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I don't think it's going to be bad, but man, that first one was really good. And so it's got, once again, a high bar to get over. Or even if it matches the bar, to be honest,
I
it'd
have
be
confidence.
awesome. Yes, I'm not saying that I don't, but I'm just saying it's a hard one. It's gonna be a lot of expectation that it'd be good, which I'm pretty sure they could deliver, but it is gonna be what it is.
And then another unknown Marvel movie in November 3rd, unannounced, but date has been already set aside. Followed by the Justice League movie on November 17th.
Which everyone thought Batman v Superman was stacking up to kind of be. Maybe it's like Justice League Light.
Yeah.
The introduction.
Set up for the spin-off.
For the actual movie. Well, once again, it has to do good. Otherwise, people are going to be like, oh, that Justice League movie is coming out, I think.
And then there's 3 movies that don't have a date set yet for 2017, but at some time in 2017, you're going to have the female lead Spider-Man spinoff from Sony. And then you can have the Venom Carnage movie, also from Sony, and then the Lego Batman movie from Warner Brothers.
Huh.
Yeah. Huh.
That definitely seems
Maybe.
fringe, but okay. I mean, I like the Lego movies.
It might be awesome.
No, I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean,
Batman is awesome.
apparently, I'm
Everything
told.
is awesome.
Yeah, you didn't even know that until after I told you about it way later on.
And see what you did.
Yeah, but it was good. I think it'll be good. I mean, if it's the same guys who did the original Lego movie, I don't see why not. And that's 2017, right?
Yeah, so that's 2017. 2018, it's going to be The Flash on March 23rd.
Not the one from TV.
2 more unknown or unannounced Marvel movies on May 4th and July 6th. And then July 13th is going to be a yet to be announced X-Men movie from Fox. And then July 27th is when Aquaman hits. Aquaman. November 2nd is another Marvel movie unannounced. And then The Amazing Spider-Man 3, some point during the year, is going to be released by Sony.
Okay, that's good. A lot of mystery involved in that one.
Mystery.
But that's understandable. It's
That's
3
three
years
Marvel
out,
movies
so.
that haven't been announced yet, coming out in 2018.
Well, they haven't been announced, so they could easily be canceled. That's what I mean. I was
Well,
like,
the dates are picked already.
they're picked, but
Yeah.
then if they decide not to put anything in them, then they disappear. We picked these dates. Yeah, you can have them. We didn't have anything for them, but it's exciting,
Yeah.
mysterious, and exciting.
And then 2019 is when the Shazam movie comes out, April 5th. The
Jeez.
Rock is going to be Black Adam in that one. And then another unannounced Marvel movie on May 3rd. Justice League 2 on June 14th. And then 2020, you have Cyborg on April 3rd. And Green Lantern on June 19th. And then the rest of the movies that are coming out that don't have any dates set yet, it's going to be Thor 3, X-Force from Fox, Gambit from Fox, Sandman from Warner Brothers, Justice League Dark from Warner Brothers, and then Superman and Batman will each get their own standalone movie, still to be announced and set.
The next movie was supposed to be Superman standalone, but oh well. Tough luck. Do better next time. That's a good 5-year plan? Is that 5 years?
Yeah.
Assuming it all comes to fruition, then should be good. Like I said, I hope I doubt it'll burst in 5 years anyway, but hopefully it stays strong. People still keep going. I know fans will.
The weird thing, though, like they've already announced the casting for the DC movies. I'm just not sure. Like the actors that they chose, it doesn't really seem to fit. But
whom?
I told you about what was the other one I said? The Flash. Yeah.
Ah. Oh yes.
Yeah, the Flash. That was going to be Urza Miller. Pulled up his pictures, I don't really see it. And then Aquaman is going to be Jason Momoa.
I think I saw a side-by-side picture of him and Aquaman from the comics. He looks the part. He doesn't have the blonde hair, but I mean,
yeah,
he got the beard. And he looks like he could play an Aquaman.
He's huge.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know a ton about Aquaman, but at least from the picture, I'm like, looks kind of like him. Looks good enough. I'd watch it.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield's returning to do Spider-Man, obviously.
I do like him as Spider-Man.
They didn't say who was going to play Shazam.
They probably don't know yet.
They just know Rock's going to be the villain.
I think I kind of guessed that, or at least I thought, that's weird. He looks more like a Black Adam when I heard him, when everyone would say, oh, he's going to be playing Shazam. I'm like, hey, it strikes me more as the Black Adam. And then he is the Black Adam. I'm like, yeah, that makes more sense. Or that always made sense to me, as opposed to him being Shazam.
What about Ray Fisher as Cyborg?
I don't know. I actually don't know too much about Cyborg. A lot of what I've seen is from Teen Titans, which is not quite right. So, I'm pretty open to it. So, I'm like I said, I'm not a big Cyborg fan. I don't have anything against him. I just haven't read a lot of stuff or seen a lot of stuff with him in it. So, I'll probably just go in just like the unwashed masses and just see what they come up with, and hopefully it'll just be awesome.
And Green Lantern, they should get
Ryan Reynolds.
No. I just had his name too, right on the tip of my tongue. Erdis Elba.
I knew you were gonna say that, but I wanted you to get there.
Yeah.
Yes. As Jon Stewart.
That'd be
Green
cool.
Lantern. Yeah, no, that it seems obvious actually thinking of it that way. I mean, not that it's necessarily going to be obvious, but I mean, yeah, it'd be good if I think that's the one they portray a lot in the animated one, right? They use Jon Stewart Green Lantern, or do they use Kyle Rayner
for the Justice League when it was Jon Stewart?
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to think, maybe the current generation connects more with the Jon Stewart one because he's been in a lot of the animated ones. So he's kind of like, if you watch the animated ones, that's like the Green Lantern more personally. I'm guessing, though. I haven't seen many of the animated ones. You've seen more of the animated ones.
Yeah, I tend to collect them.
Right. And you've watched some of them,
get
at
the little
least.
figurines that go with them, too.
Right. And there's a video there, too.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, you
that
probably...
I actually watched.
That you watched, because I haven't seen them. So, and when they do they use the Jon Stewart one as the Green Lantern for that series?
Yeah.
So that's good, then.
I think where they had Hal Jordan was before they had the Justice League series. I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
They use the Kyle Rayner?
So Superman animated series would have Green Lantern come in every now and then, and they would talk, and it's like, oh, it's Hal Jordan.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it makes sense, and it's a good choice for it.
They should do a Martian Manhunter movie, too.
That's what people are saying. Maybe people aren't ready for Martian Manhunters.
Like, who's that guy?
They're not ready for Martians. They're barely ready for, apparently, women superheroes. So...
Gal Gadot.
Yes. Which people complain about, but you know what? It's not time yet.
I'm ready for a Xena kind of looking Wonder Woman. That'd be cool.
An Amazon? Although she's not an Amazon, she's apparently a demigod now. According to what I've heard, her new origin stories, she's born of, like, I think Zeus and someone else. So she's
Xena?
No, Wonder Woman. She's not like made of clay. I don't think it's a spoiler. But her original origin in the comics is different than what they're going with, which is fine. I don't think anyone's complaining, and you get more kind of I was gonna say Greek kind of like gods kind of thing that you could start entering into the universe, because like with Guardians you had more of the cosmic, because a lot of the Marvel stuff has been Earth centric stuff, Avengers stuff, Iron Man, Captain America. You had Asgard, but a lot of it still was focused on Earth as opposed to taking place out in the cosmos, which Guardians of the Galaxy opened up. But then I guess if you have Wonder Woman as part of the Greek pantheon, then you have that whole section that you can start throwing. So you can start throwing in a Zeus if you wanted to into the universe. So it does open more doors this way. So I haven't heard a lot of complaining that they're going to be changing her origin to this. Of course, I don't know why people would be complaining. They've been complaining that there was no Wonder Woman movie, so they're finally getting one.
I think it's just complaining to complain so they can talk about it.
Maybe, but the people have been saying, why not? I mean, how many Batman, Superman movies have you had, and how many Wonder Woman movies have you had? Or any kind
of TV series.
True. There's also now a Batman one. There has been a Batman one. There's a Superman one. It went on apparently for a very long time. But, I mean, she's finally getting... I remember that joke, I remember, with Guardians and Marvel, where they're basically saying, DC, or in the picture like DC saying, we can't put a superhero on screen. People won't buy it. It's not what people want. And then it cuts to Marvel. It's like, we're putting a raccoon on a talking tree in our movie kind of thing. It's like, you can't put a woman in it, but... we don't care. Obviously, we'll just put in this raccoon and tree.
And we have a green woman in there.
And yes, exactly. they have strong, powerful women. She's part of a team, but she could easily be solo if she wanted to. But where's your Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman is part of the Trinity. She's not a small name in your stable.
She has a huge role in the animated version.
She's one of the main three,
even in the games too.
Right. So where's her movie? Why didn't she get one? So I guess now we'll have the answer to that. It'll either succeed or bomb. I hope it succeeds, because then a lot of people...
It's a win for everybody.
Yeah, a lot of people are rooting for it. So unfortunately, Gal Gadot, is that her name?
Yeah.
It's a tough... I mean... she only do so much. She's the actress, so I mean, if it's a badly written, she can't really do much about it. But that's a lot of pressure for one actor. Like, okay, you're the one who's going to have to really
to make
show.
it or break it.
Yeah, if you mess this up, Wonder Woman ain't getting another movie. Well, I guess she's doing Justice League, but she may end up in the back row if you do a poor job, and then she's never going to see another movie for another 50 years or something. If you mess this up, you got to make this. But if you can make it, then everyone's already trying to cheer for you. Basically, for the most part, everyone's like, "Yeah, come on, it's gonna be good. We hope it's gonna be good because this is what we've been asking for. So if it's bad, there'll be a lot of unhappy people because there's good stories to be had. I mean, if she only had crappy stories, she wouldn't still be around all this time. So it's possible, or I didn't make it sound like it's hard to make it. Like, people have made good Wonder Woman stories, so you can do it. It's not an impossibility. The stories exist. You just gotta figure out one, or I guess they already have, that will really showcase it very well, unless they're making a new one. Well, something to showcase it very well, so she'll be hopefully just stronger as a character, and will hopefully make it worth putting her on the screen. Hopefully. Well, we'll have to wait till 17.
Well, it's still a long ways away.
It is
There's
very
so
long
much
way.
that can change.
True. That's true. Yeah.
But building up the hype right now for the next 2 years. Year and a
DC.
half.
I hope they do well, but I wish they would have come up with something sooner. It just seems weird, and
You can't rush quality.
3 years worth of quality. Yeah, it better be really polished up to a nice shine, because
Shine it up real nice.
it's been way too long since their last movie, and I wouldn't say they're dragging their feet, but they are taking their time.
I think it's because, they just don't really know or have a clear vision of what they wanted to do.
Probably. Hopefully they're getting a bit of...
Good for Marvel.
Yeah, good for Marvel. Not so good for us as consumers, though. I mean,
Fans, yeah.
Marvel's still doing well, even though they're only competing against themselves. But I think it'd be good if there was another more competition. One, and two, I want to see good DC movies. So, because I like DC, so it sucks that there isn't any movies at all, and B, the ones that come out are only okay at best. And well, I don't even read that. Well, yeah, I don't even read that much Marvel. Actually, I don't read any DC, the New 52, but
It's funny, like, I kind of grew up with DC, but then with all the movies and everything, I'm like a huge Marvel fan now.
you're a huge Marvel cinematic fan.
Right.
But, well, I don't know about, that's the thing, I don't know about the comics now, because I've read some of the older comics, the ones that are based on, like, Days of Future Past, like the older X-Men ones.
Yeah.
Those are rough reads. Those are not easy. Like, they're very wordy, actually, whereas DC flows very well, actually. I like reading DC more than I like reading Marvel, but when it comes to cinematic, Marvel's kicking ass, all kinds, and it's
They
it's
just
weird
need better
because they don't
people
really...
to translate the comic into
I
movie
guess,
form.
because they did a really good job.
Because there's a bunch of series out there that are really good that could make really good movies, like the Hush series. That'd be... I'd like to see that made in a movie.
Well, because a lot of people, like Dark Knight Returns, people like to see that, and a lot of people, it sounds like they're kind of making that movie. Because in Dark Knight Returns, Batman fights Superman. Batman v Superman. It almost seems more and more to hear about it, it's less even Batman v Superman and Batman the Dark Knight Returns. The comic by Frank Miller. It's that book. They just didn't call
Featuring
it that.
Superman.
Featuring Superman's reactions, kind of thing. Because he does fight Superman, I believe. I have to read it. I think I'll pick it up, but maybe if I go to Kamikaze, I'll pick it up.
Have you seen the animated feature?
Oh no, yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
That was also good. They have RoboCop doing the voice of Batman to seem more of like an elderly, stately Batman.
Okay, yeah, that
Kind of
makes
disappointed
sense.
when Kevin Conroy was doing it, but then it's like, oh,
He's supposed
I
to be
can
an
see.
older Batman,
Yeah.
his more retirement times. So yeah, it would have been cool if he did the voice, but that's the Batman during his prime kind of Batman. So it'd be weird if it's like still priming, but only in voice. Although he's
kind of like Batman Beyond, where you see Bruce Wayne on Kane, and then he's still got the regular Batman voice, just more gruff.
But yeah, that's looking forward to that. Looking forward to all his movies and stuff.
Movies are awesome.
They will. Well, it's gonna be good times. Looking forward to it. What do you say? End it there for now?
Yeah. Didn't touch on more stuff again, but it's all right.
We'll catch up with it around the bend next week. We got to a lot of movie stuff, which we kind of wanted to do, so, and a few other things, so should be interesting. I guess since it's just us tonight.
Gotta play that sad Hulk music for Corey. Steven not being here talking about their favorite genre.
Right. We didn't have Steven for movies. We always talk about things that other people would talk about if they were here, but then we only talk about it when they're not here.
Yes. Seems to happen a lot.
We talk about technology when Steven's here.
Sorry, Corey. Sorry, Steven.
Crack yourself up a little,
yes,
buddy.
I do.
But yes, hopefully they'll be able to join us. They're busy this week and hopefully next week.
Until next time.
Yes. I've been your host, Keikoa. And here with me today is been Ben.
Yes. That's me.
That's him. Thanks for listening. Till next time.
Next time.